Hey, we're rolling. We're just doing it.
We're doing it.
What's up? There's no fanfare. It's happening.
That's how we do. Actually, let me turn on my AC.
Look, he's turning on his AC.
I need it because I try not to keep it on all the time, but
No, you don't want to keep it on all the time, but sometimes it's hot.
I am fucking a filthy casual though. When I'm sleeping, I keep it on all night.
Well, most people, I think most people, sleep better when it's cold.
Oh, I know, I do.
And when they can bundle up.
Let's see. Don't mind Lucky. He is playing Ark right now.
I mean, you can talk about Ark. You want to talk about Ark? We're not doing
I
anything.
can talk about Ark. Yeah.
Before you get into that, let me we're a little bit in, but I'll go ahead and read to the patrons because we'll just fire right in. Hey, shout out to our patrons: Ika Comics, Blacklist OG, Carlos, Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Nestor Flores, Rogue Robin, Shawnee B, some guy named Bob, Soda-san over 2 for Cyberpunk 23, and Video Gamer 75. If you like what we do, want to see us do work, consider submitting to Patreon. You get access to this early on. So for the guys everyone has with that, thank you for support.
Thank you.
What was English I just said?
There we go. I had to work for that. I'm sorry, everybody. So yeah, a week or a couple weeks ago, I can't entirely remember what is time and space to Lucky. Epic Games had another one of their free game giveaways, and this time it was Ark Survival Evolved. And so me being all like, free is good, I picked it up. Now, Lucky has a big love of post-apocalyptic and survival crafting games, so I went in this, expecting to have a good time. And I'm not gonna lie, Lucky's kind of having a good time, but he's kind of not.
So I've seen people play Ark a lot through its different iterations. And I can see, I don't think I've ever watched you play. Because usually we're busy doing other things when you're relaxing. That's oddly how our schedules work a lot of the time. If we're not working stuff together, we're doing things separately. But I could see why you would say that based on me knowing you and me having seen other people play Ark.
So, right off the bat, my first attempts at playing Ark was, frankly, horrible. For one, getting started up is kind of a fucking pain. Like, how do I put this? Like, I wasn't interested in playing with a bunch of randoms and a bunch of strangers, and that's another giant crocodile. Holy fucking shit. Eat tranquilizer arrow, motherfucker! Oh god, you jumped!
It's a dinosaur. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Ark is a perfect game for that one.
Fuck. I did not know that fucking, the crocodiles, giant crocodiles, could, like, leap through the fucking air. Thanks, game. Thanks. I needed that in my life. Fuck.
That reminds me, I watched a video of, not to interrupt you too much, but I watched a video of some people playing, Maneater. That's right. I was like, wait, what's the shark game called?
Yeah.
You can do some pretty sick shark stunts in that game.
Oh no, I'm interested in it.
That would be a good strong game, I think. Just go apeshit as a shark.
I'm just gonna give this fucking crocodile all my fucking fish and hope he just leaves me the fuck alone.
Yeah, so the thing I'm getting from your story as you're telling it while also being eaten by crocodiles is things try to eat you a lot in Ark and fuck your shit up.
Yeah. So my first playthrough, I made a random map. I was like, all right, like story maps aren't really like so important or whatever, so I'm just like, whatever, I'll just do that. That was like the worst decision of my life. I literally cannot progress for more than like 5 minutes without something coming and eating my goddamn face. Like, Triceratops, no, go away. What, Sark, you don't want my fish? Okay, well, fuck you. Give it back. I won't kill you. I am a kind motherfucker. But I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, the way that the game was designed is that, like, predators that will literally, kick your teeth in immediately were just around where I was spawning. And so it's just like, I go in, I'm like fucking, well, naked as the game allows. They don't allow the nudity. And I'm like, alright, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Let's get started here. I'm gonna go punch some trees. I'm gonna make some tools, and I'm dead. Why was I dead? Because I got attacked by a fucking herd of compies. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, here I go. Let's see, there's some fucking water here. Let me go see if there's anything. And I'm dead because of piranhas. I'm like, okay, beware of the fucking water. Alright, so let's move a little bit more inland.
So it's like, it's kind of like the situation we had with Conan, but worse. Because at least in Conan, you have a scripted spawn point, and when you wander into the desert of the map for the first time, there's a lovely little, if you guys remember from us talking about it, there's a lovely little riverside and oasis kind of area, which is just perfect for you to set up shop in.
Yeah. So, like, after a while, I started getting good at it. This is also after I went and twerked fucking server settings so that I gain experience like 3 times faster and monsters do less damage to me. And I'm like, alright, cool. Alright, I'm getting stuff, I'm leveling. Now I'm gonna build things. Guys, Ark's building system is, I kinda wanna say it's half-assed.
I can see why. Like, again, like I said, having seen people play Ark through all of its betas and stuff, I feel like the actual base building part of it isn't what Ark's really about. Ark is really about, holy shit, fucking dinosaurs, oh my god, they're eating me.
Yeah.
You know, and fucking around with people, whether they're your friends or with randos, and stuff like that. Like, the survivally parts seem kind of like they're just part of it because that's the way those type of games works, though. Before you go on, I do want to say really quick, that reminded me, though, that is something I always do like about these survival games, is the fact that all of them, when you set up the world or the server or whatever, almost all of them have the tweaks you can do to be like, yeah, okay, I don't want to deal with bullshit monsters anymore. Let's reduce the damage they do by, like, 90% and just fuck around. Yay.
Yeah. So, like I said, I haven't gone full fuckery mode because, you know, I do like a bit of a challenge. But I'm still like, oh, I gotta level up. I'm still like, God, I need a moment to breathe and set up. Unfortunately, in my current game, I do, actually, you know, hang on, I will stream it to people in recording if they want to see lucky shenanigans, because why the fuck not? But, so, I'm getting set up, and I'm running into difficulties in a lot of places. Like, for one, you can't alter the environment. You can't alter the ground. So you don't have a shell, you can't flatten, you can't build up, you can't place dirt or stone or anything like that. Your elevation is what you get. And I'm like, okay, that's a little weird, but, you know, that's fine. It's fine, whatever. It's like, you don't, like, sometimes you just gotta make do with the terrain you got. Now, the thing that killed me, like, my first attempt, real quick, is that I discovered that you can't build over certain environmental objects. Like, you can't do anything with them. Like, there's, like, a patch of, like, there's a fucking branch that's laying on the ground. You can't remove it, but guess what? You can't fucking build over it either. And I'm just like, why? Like, no. So, like, I've had some crafting, like, some base building attempts just bungle because there's a patch of stone there that I can't mine, but at the same time, I can't remove any other way. So it's just there eternally. I'm just like, why you do this to me? Don't do this to me. The second thing is the snap-on rules. Like, basically, you know, you have a building, you can, like, nestle it up against another building for it to bump uglies, and it snaps together. Real fucking finicky. Holy fucking shit finicky. Is that a prehistoric dolphin? That is a prehistoric dolphin, excuse me. They're usually pretty nice. But, like, when I'm trying to set up, like, fences and walls and stuff, the thing just literally, I have to stare at it for, like, 20 minutes, like, just incrementally moving my mouse so I can get that perfect snap on. And some people are just like, nah, man, you just gotta accept it and just just have a shitty looking house. I'm like, no, this is not police lucky.
Yeah, I was about to say, that is 100% not the thing, though, with base building games, right? Like, the people who really want to build bases really like them exact.
Yeah.
Like, and Omega himself, I can do the, well, this is just my shitty temp house, but if I'm building a house to build a house, I kind of like it to be nice, too.
Yeah.
But, no, I know this from Lucky. People who build bases want to build them exactly to specifications, and if you fuck with them, they're gonna be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go live with the T-Rexes in the jungle, and I'm gonna become crazy T-Rex man, and I'm gonna fuck your shit up.
Yeah, no, that can't be possible. But unfortunately, Lucky is not gonna be playing multiplayer games because I've heard a lot of trolling stories about Ark, and I'm just like, I am not about that.
Well, yeah, it was in AH's first Ark video. They've done a couple, but they did it back in beta. They had a rando, I think, just stun and kidnap Gavin or something. Or they did it to themselves. But you can just bop people on the heads and tie them up and drag them to your villages. And at least in the beta version, like, I don't know how much is still in there, but I think it's got a lot of, like, it's designed for PvP elements if you're just playing with randos, which is just like, okay, that's funny, that's memey. Who likes that, though? Like, who
usually
actually wants to be in that shit?
The people who are winning.
Exactly. But what if you're not winning?
Nope. Like I said, if I was playing, if, like, I had, like, I don't know, like, the max fucking, friend size it's at, but if I, like, knew everybody in that, yeah, I can handle some PvP, as I said, because I can yell at people and be like, how dare you, and we can crack jokes. I can't do that with strangers.
Right. If you could arrange it so it was, say, just a Studio Mega community server where you at least have talked to all those people, or can talk to them.
Mhm.
And you can get on WhatsApp and be like, hey, somebody really, really fucked my shit up in Ark. That's one thing. To just, capturing video or just talking about it. Hey, so some random stranger just fucked my shit up in Ark, and now I don't want to play Ark anymore.
Yeah. Like, I don't like getting fucked with for the purpose of someone I don't know's random enjoyment. That's how I end up hurting people. Just, like, this is not my life. Alright, fuck you, oh, you dead. I'm sorry. I meant to actually make a battle out of it. Well, I will harvest you. But, so, I'm just like, oh my god. Because I did want to play with other people, like Loth, one of the Studio Mega players, you hear him in the Star Wars AP, also picked up Art, and we were going to play together, but here comes another gripe. Apparently there's some goddamn connection issues, and I'm just all like, what is this game going for? Like, I don't know, we're not entirely sure, like, what's actually happening. Oh wait, I have to unequip my axe.
Yeah, it could just be because of his upside-down vampire internet.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. But, I'm like, God, what, like, how long, this game is literally celebrating its 5th anniversary. I'm like, for a game its 5th anniversary.
It's one of those games that was in the eternal beta and then went to 1.0 or whatever, and then I feel like a lot of people yelled and screamed about when it went to 1.0 and stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, I personally can't tell you, because I said this is my first time, like, this past week was, like, the first time ever I played, Ark, so I'm just like, okay, and I feel like, honestly, this game should still be in fucking beta.
I think that may have been the complaint, that it was still very much in beta. They just decided to call it 1.0 and start charging money like normal.
That doesn't fly. That doesn't fly. Because I said, I like the concept. I really do. Like I said, I enjoy, like, the base building isn't god-awful. It's just, half-assed. Like, as I said, like, with, like, because there's different techno. Like, you start with, like, being able to build thatch, and then it goes up to wood, and then, stone, metal, and other ones. I haven't seen any other ones that have progressed that super far. But, you can usually, like, just replace whatever you're building with just a new thing. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's neat. That's nifty. Well, but then it's like, as I said, I'm trying to, like, snap roof tiles together, and all, for some odd reason, it's twisted the different direction, and I don't have a button to just twist it in place. I have to maneuver around and find that one sweet snap spot to get to align perfectly. And then even when I put it on there, there's still, like 3, four, it's like 4 or 5 inches still going past. I'm like, wasn't this supposed to snap together? This is odd. This is, like, angled super oddly. I'm just like, I just can't. I fucking can't. So, like, for some points, like, I have just accepted, like, alright, some of this shit is just gonna look like shit. But other things, I'm just all like, game, you could have tried developers, you could have tried a little bit harder.
Again, it sounds to me like Ark is one of those games that because it's been in beta and open for so long, it doesn't know exactly quite what it's doing. It's still experimental in a lot of ways, and there's always that break between, like, and actually this is something we talked about with game design, with, like, your game idea and stuff, and other things. You have to be careful, and honestly, I could say this about the hecking Fate RP too. We're just going to 6 sessions, not through my own design. The fact that we have to have another session is entirely because I think somewhere around session 3 or 4, all of the players suddenly decided they were invested and to have investment and stories and stuff. Which means we had to have another session. But, just because they started doing stuff. Not that it's not bad, not that it's bad or anything, it's definitely, I can definitely be like, okay, this is why this has got 3 extra hours in it. But you always have that problem where you have your design goals and your design expectations that you want to hit, which who knows what that is for the Ark guys, whether that's I want to build on an island with dinosaurs or just I want dinosaurs. And then you've got what do people say this game should have, which is Ark is definitely a game from that era where it's like every game should have survival based building, Are you an open world sandbox? You gotta be able to build stuff. It's Minecraft.
Actually, I was having a talk about that with someone in our stream, and there's also another bit of news recently that plays into that kind of pretty neatly.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a second, because my third tier then, my third fork is what do the players who start playing the game actually do, which is, unfortunately for Ark, I bet a lot of it is the people were like, hey, we want to ride dinosaurs, or hey, we want to do dumb stuff where we club each other over the head, right? Like, yeah. And then you have to make your decision, especially as a paid product that is in dev. Okay, do the players want the same things we want? Do we pivot some to what the players want? Do we pivot all the way to what the players want? Because otherwise the players won't buy our game, etc. balance your levels. So what's your kind of sandbox type story about that, Lucky?
So on stream, someone was talking to me and it was like, "Hey, is it okay for someone to be a really passionate fan of Fate but at the same time be really upset about how the writing is going?" And my response to that was yes and no. Because it's kind of the same process. Like, it's never wrong for a fan of whatever franchise or media to want something better out of their preferred thing. But at the same time, you have to realize if you want something quote unquote better, is it actually better for the game or is it better for you? Because that's the thing. I just ran into birds. Oh, they look fine. Everyone has different Ooh, what is this? This is a badass waterfall. Sweet. Everyone has different expectations of what they want out of a game, and those are really red rocks. Oh, that's cool. Everyone has different expectations out of a game, and everyone has different, critiques, wants, desires out from said games. And let me tell you, generally, they're not always going to be the same. Not everyone. And so, generally, a lot of what games have to design is like, all right, I want to do what I want, but also, I have to understand that this might not be what people want. The Last of Us 2 is having this problem right now.
Yes. I don't know. I didn't know if we were going to talk about that or not. But yeah, I've seen a lot of that. And honestly, I kind of wish even in their own community it would die down a little bit. Some people seem really obsessed with it. I don't know if they really like The Last of Us or whatever. I still haven't played the first one. I haven't had time. Time management is crumbling down here, but it's because I'm trying to manage like 4 gacha games and I can barely do that right now. I'm done with Ghost Frontline though. Really quick, I should say that. I got a lucky break, and I was able to get M4's costume and got like half the stacks, and I got like the gems and the tokens, and I'm probably gonna like relax on that so I can focus on doing other stuff. If you hear Omega furiously clicking, it's because I'm trying to continue grinding out the last bit of the Azure Lane event while we're recording. But The Last of Us 2 seems like it's done some interesting and different things, and some of that does not. On multiple levels, some of that doesn't seem to resonate with the wider audience.
There is a fucking battle going on here, and are those mountain lions? I think so. And ankylosauruses, and dogs, and now a T-Rex?
Also, I am very concernicus about this final Azure Lane map. It's got... Oh, okay, I can get out the top. Alright, I was about to say. It's got all those barrier things in there so you can't move through them, but there are people outside that... No, but there's a gap. Okay, I was a little concerned.
So... Lucky is as I said, Lucky is one of those people who, when I look at people review bombing thing, I'm like, did you actually play the game? And
yeah, I will say that there are a lot of people who are making assumptions who are like, it's just like the leaks. But do you know if it's just like the leaks? Did you just watch the leaks and then you're like, oh, you saw like a meme clip on the internet?
Now,
not that I have no dog in this fight. I'm not necessarily 100%. I'm not 100%, behind Last of Us or whatever.
Yeah, no. Like, here's the thing. Like, Lucky did something he usually doesn't do. He went and looked at the leaks because, for something like this, Lucky felt like he actually needed to have some sort of understanding of why people were reacting the way they do. And I'm gonna say, based on the leaks, I don't necessarily agree with what Naughty Dog has decided to do, but at the same time, I recognize it's on theme for what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that seems to be the core thing is that Naughty Dog had creative vision or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They had a story they wanted to tell, they wanted to try and get it out. This does not necessarily mesh with like I said, the wider audience's idea of what Last of Us 2 or Last of Us or whatever would be.
Oh god, please go away, Shark.
And there's a couple of other weird things, like some people are, possibly rightly, because we've taken some potshots at Sony too, but some people are taking potshots at like, this is a Sony first party title, or second party or whatever title, however you want to talk about that is... exclusive to Sony, and there's an actual sex scene in it, like a real mature HBO film, or whatever. Seems to be the vibe I'm getting, right?
Yeah.
They call it
tasteful something.
Yeah, but people are like, but if it's got anime titties in it, Sony freaks out, which I kind of see both sides. On the one hand, I could see why Sony execs or whatever would be like, that's okay, it's tasteful, whatever. It's just like, people love Game of Thrones, that was super popular, we can get away with this. And then it's like, but anime titties are still kind of fringe. And I can't be like, I gotta be like, they're not wrong. But at the same time, it is also a little bit like, you're giving, Western developers a little bit of a pass to kind of explore these themes. But if it's, Japanese developers, no. But I don't know if that has anything to do with Naughty Dog specifically, right? Like, that's a Sony
Also,
problem where Sony may have given them a pass. I don't know.
This might sound like a cop-out, but that's the point. That is literally the point of Last of Us. It is a game that is supposed to make you emotional, uncomfortable, and just, like, understand, cycles of revenge.
And I will say, it does seem to be some stuff because we also have the constant, well, yeah, I that's just a personal taste thing, I think. Like, if you're sometimes you're like, ooh, this pushed me too far. There does seem to be also the public disconnect is now reflected in, like, the press stuff, which some of it I'm like somebody said that, like, ooh, Last of Us is Schindler's List in a world of John Wick's. I'm like, okay, asshole. You don't gotta be that pretentious.
Yeah.
By the way, nothing personal against that reviewer, just that Cliff's Notes version that somebody took out as, like, a headline. That's just way too fucking pretentious. Like, maybe the rest of the review contextualizes, but man, that's trying way too hard. You don't have to try that hard. But some of that bleeds over to people being like you look at the screenshots and the memes and whatever, and you look at the reviews, and if you look at the headline levels, you're like, hold on a second. This doesn't look like high art to me. But like you said, Lucky, you need to have that greater context. You need to actually understand what's going on before you can say it, whether or not. And I don't know if Last of Us 2 is high art or not.
Yeah, that's like I can't, like, I want to, like, honestly, I want to be in Naughty Dog's corner because I love Naughty Dog as a developer. They've made such great games, but like, I saw the spoilers and I'm just all like, this raises warning flags to me, and I'm like, so I just can't, like, I can't throw my full weight behind it. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm willing to give it a try, and that's what I'm saying is like, I don't feel like I think the reviewers just got on the fucking leak boat and just decided like, no, not doing this. I'm like,
well, and I will say this with review bombing. There is always that kind of weird... It's a reactionary thing, right? Because like we said, we've said this before, and I've heard this from other people, there's not really a good way for the gaming public to, like, the actual consumers to necessarily express their displeasure over a game in general, besides user reviews. Like, we don't really have a good outlet. Like, there's not an independent publisher who, like, polls people in the wild, because that would never work, because I'm sure you'd piss off a lot of game developers that way.
Oh yeah, not to mention, what was it? There are three things in this world: lies, damn lies, and statistics.
There's that too, yeah. So there's no real, like, neutral outlet for the audience besides just posting your thoughts on, like, a Steam review or something, right? Or yelling about it on Twitter and making memes. So that is, it's not. I don't always think it's the healthiest outlet, right? Like you said, it is kind of shitty to be just like, oh, I'm gonna bad review this game because I read some leaks that I don't like.
Yeah.
But it is also how else do those people express their displeasure in a way that Naughty Dog will sense. Also, it's hilarious. I was talking about the Schindler's List quote in Spoiler Channel. I don't know why Proto seems so fired up about it. Proto posted a lot of references and memes about it, but literally posted a tweet which was talking about the movie Joker, where critics were like, "It's too dark; it'll incite violence," and then I won't necessarily read the description because it's kind of unflattering description to Last of Us 2, but it hits on some of the points where maybe Last of Us 2 isn't the bestest or for everyoneist, and then critics, it's the Schindler's List of video games. Also, it can't literally be Schindler's List unless there's Nazis. Oh, it has to be about the Holocaust, then it can't be Schindler's List.
Yeah, and it has to be in black and white. Also, he's a girl in a red dress. Lucky has watched it.
Well, I don't know. You and Lucky have both said that it's got a lot of, like, high violence intensity stuff. I'm like, that could be considered torture porn. I don't know though. Again, no direct response. Haven't even played the first game yet.
I don't know. Like, people saying the game is too violent. I'm just like, but you're gonna go play games where you literally gun down dozens upon dozens of people, sometimes in gleeful ways, sometimes who might be actual people on the other end of the controllers.
Well, I will say that is kind of the weird thing about the reviews, because like they're like, "Oh, this game's so deep and so artistic," kind of thing, or at least it's super highly reviewed. But like I said, the one that we keep going back to, the Schindler's List quote, is like, other games are like John Wick, which I guess John Wick's. I don't think anybody would say John Wick's bad, but they're probably going like, "Oh, it's like weird, empty action." Like, okay, so is it just because there's an emotional context for the fact that in Doom you can like punch a demon's head so he explodes and like pull a shotgun out of his spine? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Mortal Kombat games literally thrive on how violent they can fucking be, and
how ludicrously and impossibly violent.
Yeah. So I'm like, so when we add, actual people emotions, is that too much? like that? This is the thing that's getting me. It's like, why is some forms of violence okay, but not other forms? Like, where is the line here?
Well, I would say if there is emotional investment, that definitely makes it more real. Like, Doom, they're demons. You don't give a shit about demons. You're just here you're here to rip and tear, rip and tear. You're huge, you must have huge guts. Kind of stuff, right? Yeah. And that makes sense, because Doom has always been a little edgily violent, but because it's demons and stuff, you don't care. And they can do some really spectacular, kind of stuff, right? Like, you can do some really weird, impossible stuff. Same with Mortal Kombat, right? Like, Mortal Kombat's not trying to be serious. It's always been a little bit cheesy. And you can really go over the top. But the moment you have emotional investment, I'm trying to think, not about, because I don't know much about Last of Us 2, I'm trying to think of other games that are, like, violent but emotional investment. Heck, even, you, by the way, that was hilarious when you reposted that Modern Warfare 2 meme, the one that about, it's got General Shepard, and then it's got No, the Persona 5 thing. That, in the actual story of Modern Warfare, is an emotional moment, because your first-person character is about to get plugged in the head, right?
Yeah. Also, seems like
the first Modern Warfare, actually, Lucky. We talked about that. The part where you play a guy who gets nuked, and you have to crawl through the wreckage, right? Like,
that was not, like, honestly, I love that scene. Like,
that's a really good moment where it's like, it takes all the, it's Modern Warfare, it's Call of Duty, I'm shooting way too many dudes. Elemental plane of Russians. And then it's like, oh shit, this is actually for real, though. This is real life out here.
Mm-hmm. Again, people love watching violent fucking TV. Fuck, like, Game of Thrones is like, who's gonna die this week? We excited. What are these
Game of Thrones was 100% like, is somebody gonna get their tits out? Is somebody gonna get their head chopped off? You know. But there were some scenes in Game of Thrones that get people squeamish, because they're like, okay, though, now we're getting a little too for real.
And this is the thing. It's like, I can understand everyone has their limits, but is that a demerit on? Well, I can't really call it a demerit on your character, but is that something that the game is responsible for? Like, that's what I don't get. People just keep blasting like this Last of Us 2 because of that thing, but it's like, if, like, again, you can't really do anything about it, but if you don't like it, don't have anything to do with it. Move on. Find something else that makes you happy and bubbly inside.
Yeah, I'll say, like, you probably don't need to review. Well, I don't know. People might, like I said earlier, people might feel like they need to review bomb because the gaming press does love it for. But that's the same disconnect we always have. Like, everybody looks at the Oscars every year and goes, man, I didn't watch any of those fucking movies. What is the Academy all excited about? That's a good reference to Schindler's List, also. Because that was an Oscar bait movie.
I don't know. It was still pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure, but it's that doesn't mean that it wasn't Oscar baity.
True, very true.
Getting those award baits, but I could, or the fact that, like, the Oscars nominated Beauty and the Beast one year for Best Picture, and then the next year they were like, fucking cartoons can't be Best Picture. Hey, let's make a category to just dogpile all the animated movies together. That's how we have Best Animated Picture. Thanks, guys. So I could see why some people feel like they, again, talking about that, they don't have another good emotional outlet, feel like they need to review bomb art or whatever because the critics are really positive for it. And that's the thing with movies, too, sometimes. Like, if you look at, like, score aggregators, there are movies that are, like, loved by critics that the audience fucking hates. Wasn't The Last Jedi like that? Where overall it was very split or even mostly negative, but critics really liked it a lot because, man, it did weird and interesting stuff. Which Godzilla? There's a lot of Godzillas, Tyrano. You're gonna have to be specific.
I think it was King of Monsters. Yeah,
the newest one. Was that more in favor of critics or fans? Because I could see that. Honestly, I could see that going either way. Because you could make a Godzilla movie that's just for Godzilla fans that the people love, but the critics are like, "It's a giant monster movie. I don't understand this." Or I could see it going the other way, and you make a serious goddamn movie, but then the giant monster people are like, "There's not enough giant monsters in this movie." And that, though, is the thing we're talking about, though, right? Like, you can have that audience disconnect, right? Where you can be like, I really want to tell this story about the heart and soul of this giant monster. But, because you're making a giant monster branded movie, the audience is going to be there for, like, I'm here to see Godzilla, though, bruh. And that's not necessarily 100% a negative on the film, but especially depending on marketing and other stuff involved, you really got to think about that when you're making and presenting and marketing your piece, because people don't like to be shim-shammed.
They really don't.
That is, I think, one of the reasons why a lot of people are still upset about Battlefront 2, And, like, I think even people who are not mad about it are still, like, I've heard this response about Squadrons. Don't worry, we're going to talk about Squadrons. Both in context of this conversation in general. But that was a complaint a lot of people had about Battlefront 2, was that all of the marketing was about how it's an Imperial campaign. Ooh, you get to play an Imperial. Ooh, how cool. But, like, halfway through, or not even halfway through the campaign, you switch sides. And then, also, once you switch sides, you don't even play as the player, the protagonist characters half the time. You're playing as the heroes or whatever, because, I don't know. Battlefront 2's got a lot of issues. And then I also, especially after Fallen Order and the way Squadrons looks, I don't want to throw too many stones at EA and DICE overall. I feel like they were kind of hamstrung by the fact that Disney Lucasfilm not only wouldn't give them any guidelines on where The Last Jedi and where the sequel trilogy was going so that they could actually integrate those characters, but also, quite frankly, they probably didn't fucking know, because those movies weren't planned out ahead of time, and it really shows. I say this as a person who is okay with all of those movies. They very, very much did not plan that. And like not like Lucas necessarily planned it either, but he at least kept himself internally consistent. But yeah, that was a major complaint, right? That like, oh, you switch sides like halfway through and all the marketing is there. And I think it's legit, right? If you get mismarketed, people go, I don't know. I feel like you lied to me. People don't like being lied to. That's just a big thing. People don't. So, you know, if you market your movie as, oh man, giant monster fights, and then it's like, it's actually about the deep internal struggle of Dr. Monster Man's soul, people are gonna feel like bamboozled, even if it's a really good movie about Dr. Monster Man's soul.
Oh man, that makes me think about fucking Frankenstein.
Now, Frankenstein, I don't think that's probably not mismarketed ever.
Well, I know, but
it's Frankenstein, the modern Prometheus, because it is. We think a lot of people think of it as a gothic horror, and it is, but it's also really about like exploring morality and shit. Mm-hmm. The original Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, is fucking good.
It is, but I'm talking about in context of modern times. If people were to look at Frankenstein, to be all like, "Oh, it's a fucking monster! It's a monster story," and it's like, yes, but actually no.
Yes, if you made a Frankenstein movie that was just a monster, monster mash movie, which they probably have done, there would definitely be, the critics would definitely be like, I don't think this really captures the original heart and soul of Mary Shelley. But there would be plenty of people in the audience who'd be like, hoo monster go smash, which is a meme I really like. But yeah, that's the thing I was getting at with Ark, and I think it all, bundles up everything to kind of dovetail this whole conversation, is you're always dealing with multiple axes of like intent, right? Of creative vision and stuff. Mm-hmm. You're juggling what you want to do, you're juggling what the game lets you do, or what whatever you're working on lets you do. Whether that's, you have to tell Big Papa Sony you're making another fucking cinematic epic game, so they give you $5 billion or whatever, or it's just got this, it could be an art question of like, okay, so we've kind of developed the engine so that we can snap to, but our physics freaks out if we do it so much, so we'll fix it later. And then what the audience wants, audience expectations. And it sounds like Last of Us 2 probably hit what Naughty Dog wanted to do.
Yeah. And
it may or may not have hit what, like I haven't heard any technical things about the game, though I've also have heard that the gameplay doesn't really advance in a lot of ways. Again, no necessary knowledge or complaint one or the other from me on that. But it is not necessarily what the audience wants, and there is always that disconnect of like, and honestly, that can be a definite you problem when you're like, this isn't what I wanted, and this isn't the thing I was looking forward to. This is if it's not the situation of this isn't the thing you told me it would be, right? If it's just you go into this expecting something and you don't get it, right? A lot of people are bad at just taking a step back and being like, okay, this isn't what I wanted, but I can see that this is clearly what you were working towards, sort of thing, right?
Yeah. Honestly, that's all I can say on this. Like, I can't actually speak on whether Last of Us 2 is good or bad. I have to reserve judgment. But that's what I think people should really have done, is reserve judgment. Yeah, but it's a big deal game, and they're asking you for your money, right? And I don't know. There is still, like I said, that weird disconnect between like I said, that sometimes the greater audience doesn't necessarily feel like
and I think there is an element in the quote unquote gaming, gaming journalism or whatever. And I say or whatever because, quite frankly, even gaming quote unquote journalists will agree there's not a lot of actual journalism going on in games. There is some, but it's variable.
Now I'm having a new problem. It's like I'm trying to put a fucking like a smithy bench up against my fucking wall, and it's not going up against the wall like at all.
Rip.
It's like a foot out. I'm like, why?
No, that's no good. But like there is this little bit disconnect where like, and honestly, it is really just the same thing as like movie and TV critics. It's like people in the wider audience. I don't know. If there's one thing I would say to people who write like reviews and critical analysis and stuff, it's like, I gotta be honest, your audience doesn't want you to tell them that they should go out and get something because it's like art or like high culture or whatever, right? Like,
also, you're probably just gonna be telling me that you heard from or read for someone else and didn't actually play the game yourself.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he hasn't played the game yet because it just came out and he's mainlining Persona 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is the question we're getting at, is the lack of greater context elements.
Yeah.
But in general, like when people go to reviews, they're like, this movie's really cool, I want to go see it, or this game's really cool, it's really fun. That's what people want. People usually don't want to hear, and if they do, they're usually, how do I put this politely, elitist douchebags?
Again,
where it's like, oh yes, it's this movie film is so cultured, it's in black and white, and there's a lot of deeply artistic stabbing going on, and yes, it's good for your soul, you should go see it. Cultural defining movie of the millennium. And be like, okay, most people don't really want to hear that, right?
Yeah.
Because especially if whether it's because they're squeamish or just because that's not what they're interested in, if they don't like black and white murder stab movies that look at the deep soul of a human being who murder stabs, they're just going to be like, why do you tell me that I should like this or I should feel this way, right? Like, generally people don't like that. People don't like being told how to feel or how to think about something.
Yeah.
I'll even say that, right? Like, every time honestly, I have a negative reaction when I see that headline about how, oh my god, it's the Schindler's List of video games. I'm like, okay, alright, sure. Like, that immediately triggers my like, just knee-jerk, like, I don't know about that. Because intellectually I understand, man, that's a really high bar you're setting. Is it actually?
Also, Axe, this is one of those things I keep saying. It's like, if you get your concept, your opinions from someone else's content, is it really your own? Did you experience it and form your own things of it, or did you just watch someone else who probably snapped, and like made it to present their argument? Like,
yeah, I'll say this: I watch plenty of like for games or whatever I like and actually play. Like, I'll actually go back and watch spoiler casts or reviews or whatever. But usually that's after I've played it and I want to hear what other people are saying and thinking and kind of get my own thoughts out. And usually I don't always agree with them, And I will say you can, well, if people are discussing, they have their own thoughts and viewpoints at least. But if it's a multi-purpose discussion, that's different. But I will say you can definitely form an opinion through watching people play a game, right? Like, that is the thing for certain games Let's Plays can do. And honestly, I bet Last of Us 2 is one of those games. I bet if you watch somebody play the whole game, you can probably get a decent handle on the story, your opinions on it, and whether or not you want to play it, assuming it's like a full unedited play.
Yeah.
So, like, that's definitely a thing you can say for that. But, in general, I try not to watch other people play games or talk about games that I know I'm going to play. And if I find out early on that I want to play this game, I usually cut off before spoilers or whatever, because I'm like, no, I want to experience it. Like, I just realized I hadn't actually watched the Game Grumps play Super Mario Odyssey yet, and I had been holding off until I was deeper in the game. I've just started watching them, and they're pretty funny. Still, it's playing Mario games is a very classic Game Grumps feel. But I would feel like if it was gonna reach the point where it's further than I'm at, I would probably stop, because I don't want to necessarily want to ruin the feel of like exploring new things and finding out new stuff for me, because that's Super Mario Odyssey, great game. Not that anybody, I think, has been disputing that one, but honestly, it's definitely not the Schindler's List of video games. It's to the point of where I feel like the Mario team, the Nintendo team, understands you have no emotional investment in rescuing Peach, because that happens every Tuesday. that literally, like, this is the first cutscene of the game, so it's not a spoiler, but literally you are motivated not only to rescue Peach, but also her tiara, which is a hat person, who your new magic hat friend, who is alive and a hat, he goes in your head, is like, we must rescue your special person and my special person. Let us go away. There's not a lot of real super depth in that part of it, but it is still really entertaining and interesting, and it does a lot of stuff. And man, the environments and exploration and stuff is just so freeform. Like they really, God damn it, Axe. I just told you I'm playing the game and I don't want to know more about the end of it. Axe gets disconnected. He takes a timeout. So, I don't know if that's the end. I don't know where the end is.
He hasn't reached it yet.
Well, Axe isn't listening right now. We probably shouldn't yell at him. I kicked him out of the call.
Oh, okay.
We'll yell about him when he comes back or type to him. But no, they've really, for purpose of Mario games, they've really nailed their 3D open world type Super Mario's with Odyssey, right? Because, when you go to a world, it's just, you go there. Sure, there's quote-unquote story missions, story power moons, because power moons are the thing you're collecting. They're adorable, and they have different colors for every different world, so you know which one's which. But you can also just wander around and just find some shit. Like, you see a glowing spot on the ground pound it, power moon. I don't actually know how many power moons there are. There's a shitload, though. There's so many, which I appreciate, because you can really explore that a lot. Oh yeah, dude, it's ground pound. It's always been ground pound. Pound the ground, dude.
Butt slam.
You can also roll. I am a little annoyed they did the usual Nintendo shim-sham of motion controls where they're like, you should really be playing this game with your Joy-Cons disconnected. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like 4 a.m. and I'm playing this lying down in my bed on my mobile platform game. I really don't want to have to, twiggle a Joy-Con to do a fucking homing hat throw or whatever. So I kind of wish they hadn't. I understand kind of what they're going for is, one, they want to explore the Switch's possibilities, and two, they want to give you more controls, right? That's always a limiter, is how many control schemes you can have. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, you're on the fucking Nintendo Switch. You're the Nintendo Switch. Somebody's gonna fucking undock this and walk around on the bus. Are they gonna try and, throw it up in the air and spin kick it? No. Yeah, like Axe said, a lot of the high-level moves are in the motion controls. And I can see why. I'm just kind of saddened. Literally every time you boot up the game, it's like, hey, you could try playing this with your Joy-Cons detached. And I'm like, again, Nintendo, it's 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. I can't sleep. I'm literally playing this laying down. It's a great play while laying down game, though. Much like Breath. Nintendo's really captured their open world explorer type to these games. Like Sword and Shield had a lot of that feel. Also, I can't talk about the DLC. I still haven't bought it yet.
We can talk about Snap, though.
Yeah, they said they're doing a new Snap. Snap Johto, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm excited. Snap was one of those games I never owned, because I never owned a 64, but I played it with friends who had 64s, and it was a lot of fun. I'll be very interested to see. Plus, I fucking love Johto. Was my original. Johto was my real OG Pokemon. I think I borrowed a friend's copy of Yellow. But the first game I owned and played was Gold. So
yeah, I played Blue before that, but no, I think Silver is where my heart is.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Let's first into the Snap, I guess, a little bit. I think the thing that is killing me most is the new Pokemon Snap is not being made directly by the Pokemon Company. No, it got shipped out to Bandai Namco, and Bandai Namco is doing some fucking shit. And now people are like, Nintendo, Game Freak, what the fuck? On a purely also that's what Rock is like. On a purely visual level, Pokemon Snap is looking so pretty. It's actually kind of putting putting Pokemon Sword and Shield to shame. Everyone's just kind of like,
Yeah, I know. Well, that was always a question mark about Sword and Shield. Was I feel like you haven't really extended the graphics, and I agree that I'm like, the graphics are okay. They did some stuff. I think for Sword and Shield, what they were focusing on was probably just okay, we're gonna put this on Switch. We need an experience you can play portable or play on your home TV, whatever. It's gonna do stuff. And I was not one of those haters on Sword and Shield or whatever, but I was like, I don't give a fuck that it doesn't have as many Pokemon or whatever as the last one. It was one of those points where it's like, guys, I haven't played any games on I haven't played a game since the regular DS era. I'm not going back in time to buy a 3DS that they've stopped producing so I can play some older Pokemon game. Especially considering that was a complaint I believe a lot of people had about Sun and Moon, was that it was very beginner focused and very tutorial heavy. Mm-hmm. Whereas while Sword and Shield does a lot of the same woo-boo-boo stuff, it doesn't feel as obsessive, right? It's not like it does a little bit of the intro stuff because it's their first, Switch Pokemon, but I never felt like super slowed down to be like, oh my god, now I have to, like, you can, I think this is one of the few times where the game asks you do you need a Pokemon catching tutorial? You can be like, nah, bro, I know how to catch a fucking Pokemon. I literally did it 5 minutes ago. And they can be like, oh, hey, you caught a Pokemon. Cool, good for you. So that's a good improvement. But yeah, so Snap graphically looks good. And it should. It's a game about taking pictures.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited what to do, because for those who may not remember, Pokemon Snap was a game originally on the N64, and was very actually, what's the word I want to say? I don't want to necessarily say esoteric, but it was a really weird game. And the content was
during the 64, well, Nintendo's always been they've done very weird Pokemon spin-offs on console, but this was the era of, like, Hey You Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
Which is another weird fucking esoteric. Esoteric's a good word for it. That was a weird esoteric Pokemon game where you fucking just hang out with Pikachu. Okay, cool. Pokemon Snap. Take pictures of Pokemon.
Yeah, it was literally an on-rails game where you sit in the car, the rail would go, and you would just spin around and take pictures. And, you would just be graded on your pictures. And wait, what the fuck is this? What is this? Did I destroy something? Anyway, and it was interesting because you'd have, like, certain items, you can throw apples or, like, little balls that irritate them, and depending on, like, how you did it, you can get special, pictures. Like, I always remember this. The first one, you start off on a beach. If you throw apples leading a Pikachu to the surfboard, it would get on the surfboard, and then you get a picture called Surfing Pikachu, and you're like, fuck yeah!
Yeah, overall, the game was full of little Easter eggs and bonuses. Like some Pokemon, you could only get a good picture because Professor Oak would grade your pictures at the end, and he would be like, there's no fucking face in this picture. Get the fuck out of my office. So there were some Pokemon you could only get good pictures of if you got them to stop by using an apple, or I think there were some cases where you threw, like, the mud ball or stink bomb or whatever at them and, like, stun them. So they had to sit down and stop moving around so much. But yeah, there are a lot of little Easter eggs and bonus stuff, like you said, like the Surfing Pikachu. Like, you could get all the legendary Pokemon by doing certain things at certain times and whatever. Just just a lot of little secrets and things you got in there. So that's going to be really interesting to see if a new Pokemon Snap has that same quality of just like, nah, dog, there's fucking secrets everywhere. I will bet you there will totally be weird requirement sequences, or you have to be fucking fast to catch, like, the 3 legendary dogs and stuff, because it's Johto. Like, oh man, that's a wild Suicune. Oh, he's fucking gone. He left, just like in real life. Ooh, excuse me.
Sorry, I had to talk to somebody, my bad.
No, it's okay. I vamped. Yeah, so there were a lot of secrets in Snap.
Like, in every map, there was a landmark that looked like a fucking Pokemon. Like, I can remember a couple of them. Like, in, like, the first episode, there was a rock formation that looked like a fucking, shit. What was the evolved form of Krabby? Kingler, yeah. And another one, there was a set of 3 mountains that looked like a Doug Trio. It was a game that rewards you for looking around, paying attention, and trying different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that they're going to recapture that exact same, feeling in this one, because, as I said, I'm not super interested in playing another Pokemon game. I have the experience. Like, I'm not trying to, like this on people who go mad, but it's like, I can only collect so much and beat up so many other people with my own fucking monsters. I'm just like, I want to do something different. But Pokemon Snap represents something to me that hasn't been, like, touched in, like, forever. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, they literally haven't made another one except after that first one.
Yeah.
They even did that different with Pokemon Stadium was another big one, that was the experience you described, where it was just a console version of Pokemon Battles, but you couldn't explore. So it was a kind of a way to get the Pokemon versus feel on console with better graphics, but now you don't
also
need
it was a great way for people to, like, measure their dicks with their Pokemon teams, because that was one of the interesting things there is you can actually import your fucking Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Nintendo always loved that because they were always the guys who had a portable and had a console.
Yeah,
you know, they could be like, hey, you can plug your fucking Game Boy into your N64, do your little cart reader expansion, have fun. Also, funnily, I think this is mostly a Pokemon thing. Hey, Lucky, remember when they made a card reader, like an actual honest like card reader for the Nintendo the GBA? That was a thing. And there were certain Pokemon cards you could buy that you could scan with the card reader to do stuff in games.
Well, they're not the only one that did that. Fuck, do you remember Monster Rancher?
Not really. I was never a Monster Rancher kid. Were they on? I feel like those were on Sega consoles mostly.
Monster Ranchers were on Sega and PlayStation, but Monster Rancher was a game. Like, usually, you never fucking open up the case. You never do that. Monster Rancher was the game that figured out that you would open the game, open up, like, the PlayStation or the Sega Saturn, take out the game disc, put another game disc in it, close it up, the game would boot up again, read the disc, and it would give you a monster based on the game you put in.
Yeah, that's some fucking metagame shit.
That is some high metagame shit. So
that's on the level of fucking Psycho Mantis being like, so you enjoy Castlevania.
Like, honestly, now the more I think about it, like, the PS1 N64 era was very experimental. And I feel like
it was because that was the first 3D era. That was the first era we could do 3D renders. Was that time period? As seen with, say, Final Fantasy VII, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that was their first switch to polygons and stuff.
No polygons.
Big, blocky polygons.
Tifa's pointy tits. Yeah.
And Cloud's cylindrical tube arms, but his hair was incredibly spiky. But that was also the era of, like, well, shit, dude, we don't know what we're doing. Like Nintendo decided to stay on carts for a while, and even then, it wasn't until the Wii where they just went to fucking DVDs. Yeah, they went back to it but honestly, I think that works because a Nintendo Switch chip is it's basically just like a special SD card, right? Like, we did a weird thing where Nintendo really, really precogged what storage media we'd use, because everybody uses SD and micro SD cards now, right? And they're huge. Yeah. There is, in fact, literally I think I got half a terabyte micro SD that's in my Switch as expanded storage. Because the Switch doesn't have any fucking storage space on its own. Let me tell you. They went lean and mean with the Switch, which is what they should do, though. That's why the Switch is good, is because it's like, because I can go, I'm gonna fucking lie down on my bed, pop that bitch out. But there was a lot of experimenting, and Nintendo has never really left their experimental phase, I think is the thing. Like, that really bit them in the ass with the Wii U. Just because the branding was weird. They, like, really should have called it something other than the Wii U. But the Wii U was like, hey, what if we put a touchpad like the DS with our console? That'll be cool. Alright, cool. But also, it's not. It's just an HD Wii with a tablet. Whereas I think with the Switch, they've done a lot that kind of hybridizes those, where they're like, okay, so we've got the Joy-Con, so you can still do some motion control shit, but also you can pop it out on mobile like it's a DS or like a Game Boy. But also you can use the pad for touch stuff. It's touch sensitive sometimes. But also it's got a dock so you can play it on your big fucking HD TV. You know? Yeah. So the Switch is Nintendo really found the whole, okay, we can just be the console of everything. We can be the universal access console. They can be cheap, and then the Switch Lite, which is just the portable version, is even cheaper. You know? And they've found the middle ground they're going to exist in, which is good because now we've got, Xbox Series X and PS5 coming out, and they're, trying to be very big dick swinging. But yeah, Snap is going to be really interesting. I'm excited for that one. I am still interested in the Sword Shield DLC. Like, I'll check it out. I just need the time because, like I said, I've just got Super Mario Odyssey and I'm playing it for the first time ever, and it's good. Unfortunately, I just checked on Amazon for other stuff. Not that I need to be spending money right now. I'll talk about some of that later. Not that I'm, pitch broke either. It's just the thing where I'm just like, I've spent a decent amount of money. I should stop for a little bit. Always have that self-control. But I have noticed that a lot of games on my Switch wishlist on Amazon are currently out of stock. So it's just like, no, that'll probably be a good time to download some Pokemon DLC or something. But yeah, oh, that's why. Actually, yeah. Why don't we go for about an hour? Let's take a quick break. Get fresh links. Intermission. Okay. I was thinking we'd talk about something different, but Lucky is looking up anime stuff he wants to track, so I figured we should get that on mic. People like anime.
I do like anime. And Lucky is people. I am people.
In the meantime, I'm going to continue working on Azure Lane. I've almost done all the maps.
Let's see here. So, wow, actually it doesn't look like too much, but there's a couple that I am excited for and some that I'll try and get to at a certain point. Like, well, let me tell you about the ones. Like, I'm definitely excited for ReZero. Excited about Fire Force. Excited about Uzaki-chan Wants to Play. Season 2 of No Games, No Life. No Guns Life. Heck. I wish there was a new game in Life Season 2. I'm also excited for Monster Girl Doctor. And there's a couple other ones that look interesting, but like right now, those are like the ones I'm like, just pencil me in. Pencil me in, motherfuckers. But as I said, we're talking about anime's in a weird place as things keep getting pushed back and stuff. So I can't really commit to saying like, yeah, I'm gonna totally watch this because I'm like, oh, who knows? It might just end up. Oh, okay, that was a pterodon. Okay, they're friendly. I just saw wing in my face. I was like, no.
Yes, the primal fear, the flying.
Yeah. So, like I said, like I watch things as I watch things. Right now, I'm actually thinking like I need to actually go back and like start working. Make a backlist of things, because usually I only watch anime on Crunchyroll or Funimation, but I know, I'm not dumb, they don't have everything, and I'm like, I think there's probably some shit that I want to watch that I actually missed, because it wasn't on the official site, so Lucky's gonna have to, don his hat and practice some witchcraft, but, like I said, I feel like I've been slipping on my anime watching recently, like, I have been watching things like, I just finished, Ascendance of a Bookworm. I just finished, Sakura Wars. I'm about to watch, I think, the last episode of, Destruction Flag Otome. I started, Dorohedoro on Netflix. And Netflix, I also finished, the latest season of, Grappler Baki on, Netflix. So I've been watching stuff, I'm just like, but I need to watch more. More! It's like, man. So, like I said, like, I don't know. You said you haven't really been like able to like watch a lot of the JoJos.
No, I haven't really been watching a lot of stuff right now. Yeah. I'm juggling lots of things. Like I haven't progressed super far in Persona 5. I'm just I've reached a point where I'm like, I got so much stuff going on. I need to just relax about it and just do what I feel like doing. You know, and eventually it'll all get done, or it won't. Who cares? You know, if it didn't get covered, then I guess I didn't care that much about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm continuing to work on a lot of stuff with juggling a lot of things. Like right now, I'm, like I said, doing Azure Lane runs, which seems to be working out okay.
I should probably be working on some Azure Lane as well.
It's a fair one.
Like, honestly, like, let me finish installing these, stone upgrades, and then I'll probably just switch the stream over to Azure Lane, and maybe one of you fuckers will actually watch me play it. Remember, I can see you guys
watching.
Yeah, no one's even watching. Yeah, I'm calling you all out. Nerds.
Whack.
But,
well, Lucky's switching games if he doesn't have anything else to say about anime. We can switch back to games and talk about a couple of other things. So, the first thing, because there was a couple of other gaming news I wanted to hit up, I think. The first thing is that, unfortunately, Cyberpunk has been delayed again. This is still supposedly not due to COVID, but just because it's CD Projekt Red and they're, like, really perfectionist. So, officially, the game is not coming out until November now. Thanks, guys. But I'm sure it'll be the experience they want it to be. This does remind me, though, personally, I'm not, hyped up that, Cyberpunk 2020 is gonna cure cancer, stop, cause world peace, and be my girlfriend, right? I've already accepted that Cyberpunk is just gonna be a game. Mm-hmm. I am hopeful that it will be a very nice and pretty game that will function, because they've delayed it a lot for perfectionism, right? But I am still saddened to hear that they're delaying it again. As that now puts us squarely in the holiday season, which God knows what the fuck gonna come out then.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that's positive is that they have, kind of positive. I don't know how positive it'll be yet because of reasons, but they did say that 2077 will be completely backwards compatible. They have assured day one compatibility on PS5 and Xbox Series X, and supposedly your copies will work right away. I assume that means that the PS5 has to have disc compatibility, right?
Oh yeah.
Well,
remember they have two versions. They have the digital version and the disc.
Right,
version.
but I don't think Sony has ever come out and said you can put your PS4 discs in your disc PS5. I don't think they've actually said that yet in those
Probably
words.
Not. No.
I'm hopeful that's what Cyberpunk means when they say this, because I would totally be willing to do that, to be like, oh, well, I can just, if I get a PS5, I can just throw my Cyberpunk disc in there and it'll work. I hope that's how it works, just because that will be less annoying.
Very much so.
But yes, they're saying there will be free upgrades if you have it to the newest HD version, and it'll be backwards compatible day one. So I'm like, okay, I'm glad we're getting this. That's good. And that's good just for the game, because people will feel less bad about buying this version, because there's obviously a next gen about to come out. But I'm still sad they're delaying it. Again, this game's just been, like, it's sad, but I'm not, like, upset or worried or anything. It's just, like, this game's been in development for, like, forever. An actual, like, 3 months to make it better is not necessarily going to hurt me. It's just, I want it to come out finally.
I mean, I've been waiting for this game ever since they just did the teaser trailer, like, an eternity ago, so...
Yeah, the teaser trailer was, what, like, 2012 or something? Like, it was fucking a long time ago.
And so I'm just, like, 3 more months,
time is time. It'll get here eventually.
It's like, I don't have a big 2 playlist at the moment, so it doesn't bug me.
But yeah, so I'm still hopeful that just all this polish time just means that it will be, like, I'm pretty sure it'll be good. I'm just hoping that all the polish time means that, like, there's not going to be a lot of, like, bugs and other weird shit. Like, it'll be very functional, hopefully.
Yeah, they said that the game is ready to go. It's ready to shit. It's just they have bugs that they're like...
Yeah, I think the idea is that because it is such a big, complex RPG-type game, is that... I mean, think of all those Bethesda games you've played, right? Like, Bethesda RPGs are infamous for all their weird bugs and shit, right?
Yes.
And I don't know if that's just because whether it's Bethesda's own internal culture to be like, fuck it, people don't care about the bugs, they're gonna buy Skyrim for the 5th time anyway, ship it! Right? Like we have just conditioned Bethesda to just be like, fuck it, whatever, ship it. Or just that's how they work, I don't know. But it seems like what CD Projekt Red is going for is they're like, we don't want any of those weird Skyrim bugs. We want the game to be as bug-free and smooth an experience as possible when you play it. So they're just taking all the extra time. And who knows, maybe secretly the extra time they need for playtesting is because of COVID, because they have to do work from home or whatever, I don't know. Or just they're concerned about the release date still. We'll see. My pre-order is already locked in on Amazon. Technically, I don't think Amazon's actually sent me an email saying it's delayed yet. But I don't know. Amazon also seems like they're getting weirdly slow. Like, even though I know that there's been an announced date trailer for when Destroy All Humans comes out, for instance, Amazon's still like, this item will be available until December 31st this year. I'm just like, I know that's not true, guys. I've seen a trailer that says it, but okay. But still, it's interesting to see. The other big news, I think, for me, and for all of us, is that earlier this week, EA teased us with a light trailer for Star Wars Squadrons, a starfighter-focused game by EA Motive, who were the studio who did a lot of the campaign animations, a lot of the cutscenes and stuff, and all the starfighter segments for Battlefront 2, which everybody has said the starfighter assault stuff is really good. It's just underutilized because EA Motive was basically taken off Battlefront to do other projects, which might be this, who knows. And then EA did a play stream, kind of like how PlayStation did their big reveal event. They did a big stream about their stuff. I didn't really watch it, though I heard it was good. I should actually maybe go back and watch like a react or something, because I heard they actually didn't have 5 hours of sports in it.
I'm surprised.
A very bold but correct choice, I think, in our current climate. Just to be like, fuck it, sports guys are going to buy sports games anyway. The people who are watching an EA play stream are the people who are quarantined or semi-quarantined and who are like dying inside. We'll show them some good shit. But they showed gameplay. So I think this actually goes back to our conversation of like making games you want to make, right? Because Star Wars Squadrons is going to have single player, right? It will have single player and it will have versus AI story. So if you're bad at it, you can play just versus AI with your friends. Another really good choice. But they've said that it's all first person. There is no third person flying.
That's going to be intense.
Which is going to be like we said, a bold choice. But it makes sense because, as they said in the trailer and stuff, no, they're going for like legit space stealth and stuff. If you lose track of a guy, you've lost track of a guy. Right? Because they actually, and they seem like they're doing some pretty tight maneuvers and there's some space drifts and some space loops. I believe they said it's cross-compatible, and it's all in VR, so I know it's going to be on PlayStation, right? I know it's going to also be on PlayStation, because VR. But that's one of those things where it's like, nah, dude, it's first person. Like, that is 100% no, we're making the game we want to make. They've said there will be, at the moment, there's no plans for DLC or expansions, there's no microtransactions. It's a $40 game, you buy the game, you play the game. It's supposed to be cross-play compatible, so all your friends can get together and play too, which is great. And let me tell you right now, 100% Omega is buying this game. You could not stop him. Even if the game is awful, he will play it just to suffer. But it doesn't look awful. It looks amazing. I fucking love it. They've been in interviews. They've said that while it's not it's not a direct one-to-one translation. The developers literally said they were inspired by the X-Wing miniatures game, which I'm like, perfect, yes. And in the I didn't watch the stream live, like I said, but I've heard that in the developer segments while the developers were talking, he has some like Fantasy Flight RPG books in the background, which I'm like, no, this game sounds like it's coming from a really good place, right?
Yeah. Someone who actually loves and enjoys the franchise.
Yes, they love and enjoy this, especially they love the Starfighter stuff, because like they've showed the component list, and well, it really is just kind of like it's basically like frickin' perks from For Honor and other games like that, right? It's a 5v5 multiplayer with classes. It's not too original in that respect, but they're like, ooh, you can equip like regular ass engines, or you can equip slam engines. Which slam is a very classic Star Wars fighter sim trope, is some ships have the slam engine, which lets you go really, really fucking fast. It looks like they have a power management system, which is very akin to old flight sims and even arcade flyers, where you can reduce power to engines to boost power to shields and back and forth. Very curious to see, by the way, how that plays for the Empire, because I think almost none of those ships canonically have shields, so... Like, I'm very curious whether that will be they do different mechanics for different factions, or it's just like, oh, you're just playing super special fighters which have shields and missiles and shit. We'll see. I'm very interested in that kind of stuff. But it looks like they're just making a very focused game that does the stuff they want it to do, and I'm like, nah, dog, I'm going to play it. I'm going to buy this game and I'm going to play it because I get to... It has the stuff I want. It has fighters, I can customize them. The first-person stuff is like... That kind of puts people on an even playing field, right? Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, if you sneak up, if you bounce a guy, if you creep up out of the sun on a guy's behind, what can he do about that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if he's got to be watching his radar, you know? I think that will make good Star Wars shenanigans. And heck, if you're shitty at dogfighting, they literally have support, like, they've added the U-Wing and the TIE Reaper as the Imperial counterpart, but they've added the U-Wing, which I love. I love that design. One of my favorite new designs they've come up with is the U-Wing. That's the big troop carrier swing wing from Rogue One. Great ship design. But they've literally added, like, big, slow fleet supports, basically. Or you can play bombers, and you can focus on doing objective play. Like, it's not just dogfight modes. You can literally do the... It's kind of the Battlefield style, ooh, if you beat this, you move to the next zone or whatever. But still, it works for Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
That's how the classic Battlefront 2 worked, was like... I feel some classic Battlefront 2 space battle vibes from this, which is weird, because... Neither of the previous EA Battlefronts have done that, but, like, literally in the gameplay trailer, they're like, and after you blow up their 2 capital ships, you'll attack the different subsystems on their main ship, and I'm just like, oh no, that's 100% space battles in Battlefront. Now, I don't think we're gonna do what you did in Battlefront, which is you just land inside their hangar and fucking blow up their ship from the inside. Cause, let's be real, actually blowing up the components from the outside of the ship was a huge pain in the ass, but I've got those vibes, and it looks very good. And I'm very, very interested in playing. I'm a little sad that it does look like they're missing some... I'm assuming it's for balance. They didn't include, like, there's no B-Wing on the Rebel side, other than the fact that I bet flying in first person a B-Wing's going to be... Ugh. So in case you guys don't know about B-Wings, right, you've probably seen them. You might remember them from Return of the Jedi and some other parts. Those are the ones that kind of... They look flat and they unfold into kind of a T shape, but they're called B-Wings. But B-Wings have a gyroscope cockpit. The whole hull rotates around the cockpit, which making that feel appropriate in a flight sim has got to be weird. But the other one is, I think the big iconic ship they've missed out on the Imperial side is the TIE Defender. That's the like trifoil like TIE Superfighter. That was heavily featured in Star Wars Rebels, so it's canonical again. But that was a big deal in a lot of the classic Star Wars flight sims and stuff. Was the Defender was like the really expensive super TIE. I'm hopeful that enough copies of Squadrons sell that they'll feel like they said that they're not planning DLC, but they could do it. Like, they didn't want to write it out. But I'm hopeful that, like, the game does enough that they feel like, okay, we can do, like, a $20 big expansion pack or something, or even free updates and be like, and here's some new fighters and stuff. Some new components and some new cosmetics.
I wouldn't mind if they did, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty interested in this, too. Like, flight games haven't always been my thing, but honestly, I'm just kind of getting excited because Omega's getting excited.
I will tell you, this is 100% a game that if you own it, you know I'm going to own it. We can play it together.
Yeah.
Right.
And, honestly, like I said, I like Star Wars. I'm not a ship nerd like you. Jesus. But ships. I'm like...
I think I told the story of how that was the part in Rise of Skywalker where I actually shed a single tear, was when Luke pulled his classic X-Wing out of the water. Yeah. Also, I don't know if you saw this in the trailer, Lucky, but I saw it. You can put a fucking Ewok bobblehead in your cockpit. There's cockpit customization.
Mm-hmm. This is super important.
Yeah. When that actually is, because for me, that's I don't know if it is a reference, but I sure hope it is. That was a long-standing joke in one of the X-Wing novel series, Wraith Squadron. The joke was that one of their pilots was an Ewok who was genetically enhanced so he could fly and use prosthetics to operate the controls. So there were a lot of jokes about there being a fucking Ewok squad member, and just it just became a running joke that one of the main characters would say to Wedge Antilles, he would just be like, "Yub nub, Commander." So I'm just like, I just saw the Ewok bobblehead, and I'm like, "Yub nub, Commander." I will be that guy. I will tell you what Omega will fly, even if it's awful. He will fly only X-Wings or U-Wings 100% of the time. I hope to God they include it, but I bet they will. They will do the Partisan from Rogue One camo scheme for both those ships, because those guys do have some interesting schemes. They have kind of a like space dazzle camo kind of look, like a space camouflage. I will 100% be rocking those ships, and that will be it. That will be the only thing I do.
You're gonna get good.
Like, no offense to Y-Wings and A-Wings. Heck, no offense to Imperial ships either. Like, that'll be cool. Like, if I have to play Imperial, I'll probably fly Squints.
I don't know. Like, it will probably focus on just flying, like, support ships and whatnot. But,
well, that's the thing I say. I like that. Like, if your friend's not good at dogfighting, it sounds like he can just fly a big boat behind you and, like, do support stuff. And if an enemy is dumb enough to fly in his crosshairs, he can just shoot him.
Yeah.
I expect that the supports will also be able to carry heavy ordnance like bombers will, so that they can also do some damage that way too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I was skeptical at first. I'm like, okay, they're clearly marketing to me. They're making a space game.
Space.
But also, I played Battlefront 2. I was very much like, no, this game was worth buying it for $20 after it had been out for 2 years, right? Like I said that. It was not worth the price, but lower price point, looks like they're doing the right stuff. I'm very interested. Another thing they do is pilot customization. So yes, Omega will 100% be rocking a hot toilet chick.
Yeah, sorry, like he's gonna be big. I don't know what we got, but definitely big titty.
Yeah, that or apparently one of the support, one of the rebel NPCs, they've got a fucking Trandoshan pilot.
Oh wow,
that looks rad. Fucking lizard man. So who knows? If I can make a dapper Trandoshan, I might, just for shits and grins. But yeah, They are doing, I think, what is proper with this game, which is, like, they've kept it fairly narrow focus. They're not clustering it up by making a shitload of ships. Like, I'd like them to add more in the future, but just the 4 core classes of, fighters as multi-role, interceptors as interceptors, basically, pursuing enemy ships, bombers to blow up objectives, and then support to do fleet support stuff. That seems like a really good focus, and all the customization and apparently cosmetics are all and upgrades are all unlockable in game. I'm all about that. It looks like after Fallen, like I was really impressed by Fallen Order. Fallen Order is a great game. It's really worth playing. It's worth playing if you like games in general, but if you like Star Wars, like I said, it's a solid B game. Solid B, B range game. I feel like EA has kind of learned their lesson after a couple of big blow-ups on those Battlefront games to be like, what if we just don't ask any questions and let our studios do stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it seems to be working, so I'm super excited for Squadrons. Oh, though, speaking of EA and Respawn, another bit of news, if Lucky doesn't have any further thoughts on Squadrons stuff.
I don't.
Okay. Titanfall 2 is dropped on Steam for like $10. Right. I'm probably not going to buy it just because I don't know if I play a lot of games on Steam. Like, I own it on PlayStation already. Heck, I still... whenever Omega doesn't have a new game to play and he's like dying or wants to relax, I will literally boot up Titanfall and I'll play the campaign or I'll play multiplayer. But if you haven't ever played Titanfall 2, you should. It's really good. Oh, it's fucking sick, dude. I do love it. Like, I know they've done a big deal. Like, they announced Apex is coming to Switch, and apparently Apex is still doing fairly decently popular for them. But God, Titanfall 3, guys. You guys pulled it out. You did another great single player story with Fallen Order, Respawn. I know you can make good shooters still. Sing me that sweet story of Titanfall again. And who knows, maybe putting Titanfall on Steam will let it blow up in the public consciousness again, and there'll be more demand. That was the thing I saw, actually, is that EA is doing Skate 4.
Yep.
Which a lot of people are excited for. And they literally said that it's because people were like, yo, dude, where's a new Skate game? Like, the fact that people were consistently saying, hey, we want more of this franchise, they decided to make it, which is cool. I love when that fan upswell kind of kicks in. I don't know if this is coming across, but I'm tapping something against my wrist. And I should actually tell you what I'm tapping, which is I picked up. I'll speak lowly because I don't know if people can hear me, but my voice carries. But I got my father a little something for Father's Day, but it was on Amazon. But to disguise my order, because I gotta be real, Amazon's kind of it was an item I 100% wanted to mark as a gift. I wanted to let it be known that it was not for me because Amazon would do Amazon stuff to it. Hopefully people will maybe get the drift of what I'm getting at without me actually saying it out loud. But I 100% wanted to mark it as a gift, but Amazon is kind of weird where they'll like, ooh, this is a gift? Well, we'll put a little tape on it that says it's a gift, and we'll put labels on it. I'm like, no, Amazon, I don't want you to dob me out because I don't wake up until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon after the mail comes. Like, literally, I have gotten several items by mail in the week, some of which I can talk about later. But they are usually sitting on, well, it looks like a little bench or an end table or something. It's actually a cleverly designed chest to hide one of the cat's litter boxes, but it's right outside my door. So whenever I get a package or something in the mail, usually when I wake up, if it's delivered that day, it's sitting on that little thing. So I was like, okay, I'll buy some stuff to disguise it. And what did I buy? I bought the thing I've been talking about buying, is I bought the 4 volumes that are on Amazon of Plus Sized Elf. So that was what I brought out of that earlier to talk about it. And I think I mentioned that casually because you were talking about, you're actually talking about 7C, the press, the publisher, not the RPG. Though we could talk about that RPG sometime. But, yeah, so I own 4 volumes and I bought them all this time because I was like, I need a big package to disguise this thing I'm getting. But I've bought them. I haven't really read through them much yet, but they're just a good one to own and have hanging around.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, hold on. Okay. Sorry, I was just double checking because I saw on the outside it's rated older teen, and I scrolled through it and I was like, whoa, those are some nipples.
Man, if you made it to the older, like, I'm not gonna lie, this just might be me and my Americanism, but if you made it to older teen, you don't know what nipples are, I'm concerned.
No, I'm just thinking about the... Sorry, I was far away from my microphone. It's not that polar. I was standing up, putting them back in my shelf, but... No, I was just like, I'm trying to remember how risque they were, because I feel like when I read some of the chapters online, they were slightly censored, some of them.
Probably.
But these are the published versions. They're like, nah, dog. We can put these in a wrapper and only let people over a certain age buy them. Also, manga's always been way looser about that. I remember I think I told the story, I could get Reno 1/2 mangas from my library. Hey, let me tell you, there were a lot of nipples in those.
Yeah, Lucky grabbed his 2 volumes of Monster Girl Encyclopedia. And I love on the back it says, for mature Monster Girl fans only, rated mature. And I'm just like, yes, this is good.
Oh, yeah, no.
This is exactly what I wanted.
Yes, but also that is 100% what Monster Girl Encyclopedia is like, I feel like most of the art isn't always super lewd, but some of it is. Some of it's a little spicy, but it is definitely a, like, yeah, no, we're gonna talk about some shit. And it's definitely, like, rated R, right? Like, it's not necessarily, I think some of it can be explicit, but it's not necessarily meant to be super explicit, but it will not shy away from the fact and be like, no, this monster girl eats semen, or whatever. Because that's a thing we've gotten more sensitive about talking about as a culture, is we don't like to talk about bodily fluids and stuff, but if you go back to, like, old-ass myths and legends, they'd be like, no, dude, demons are after your semen. They want to suck your blood or get your vital essence.
I always remember that. That always made me laugh so hard about reading about Journey to the West of the fucking monk, like, was a complete, utter, well, innocent boy. And all the demons just all like, let's bang.
Yeah, that was, cause, that's how, yin-yang energy works in a lot of, like, Taoist and, Chinese Buddhist scriptures. Like, well, there's male energy and there's female energy, so obviously the female demons want to steal your male energy so that they can get both yin and yang, and they can become super enlightened or whatever.
Oh. Sorry, Lucky's looking through, like, the things like, oh, so this is where they got the design for the dojin. Now this makes sense.
Yes, there are a lot of, both by the artist, I think, and just by people in general, there are a lot of dojins and illustrations which are inspired by MGE content.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I recommended that you should pick it up for your game, because I was trying to think, what's an iconic Monster Girl thing?
Yeah.
No, that's it. Monster Girl Encyclopedia. That's, like, a big deal.
I'm glad, like, this gave me actual reason to actually get it, because it's one of those things I've always been eyeing, but I'm all like, if I could just buy this, but why? And it's like, now the perfect
now it's
reason. Research. Again,
that's definitely why I bought those volumes of Plus Sized Elf. That is totally my help with Lucky's research. It is definitely not because I find that series adorable and heartwarming, but also sexy.
So, again, if we were actually a business, I would have wrote this off as a tactics. It's like, nope, it's for research.
And in future we would totally do that, because I've got the receipts. You know, that would be it. I'd be like, no, this was literally for research purposes.
Mm-hmm. But let me see, what was I talking about?
We were just talking about purchases and stuff.
Yeah, so I haven't bought anything since the Monster Girl encyclopedias.
Well, you have talked about how you have admittedly spent too much money on FGO lately.
Yeah, I really have. And I literally just spent $30 on Arknights because I wanted to get the last level up thing that cost like 30 something. Whereas I'm like, but it has stuff.
Yeah, those packs are pretty brutal. I'm seriously, I definitely have the money for it, but because there's only a few days in it, I'm seriously debating whether or not I'm going to buy the Azure Lane Lucky Bag. I'm like, I don't have enough gems for Jean Bart's swimsuit otherwise, but do I really want to spend $30 right now? The answer is that Omega will probably spend $30.
Lucky's probably going to spend another $30. He's not going to lie. He's not going to lie to himself. He wants to get all the Vicia Dominion ships. Actually, that reminds me of something. Omega, do you know, so I'm going to talk about Azure Lane a little bit here.
That's fair. Remember, I'm literally playing it right now.
You remember how someone asked me, says, sometimes they wish the villains would win? And from Let's Talk FGO yesterday?
Yes.
Like, think about playing Azure Lane. I really wish the Vicia Dominion and Ironblood did not job so many fucking goddamn times.
Yeah, like, that's the thing when your game is inspired by history.
Yeah, I know, but
the naval battle in the front over there in the European theater was not as spicy as the Pacific Fleet was.
No, fucking German forces got fucking hammered. But at the same time, like, I understand that, but I'm like, God. I was like, because I really like Ironblood ships and like Vicia Dominion. Like, I really like the design and stuff, but they just cannot win ever.
No, because that is interestingly how their history kind of went. Like, I think we talked about this because we've talked about why there aren't more Ironblood aircraft carriers is because the German Navy and I believe also the big dog Mr. Hitler did not like aircraft carriers either. So they didn't really invest in that infrastructure, and it really showed because this was the war where we figured out that no, aircraft carriers goo.
Yeah, but like I'm looking at it, look like a lot of these scenes. I'm just like, cause fucking Bismarck's battle, like fucking this girl is badass. She is shooting giant fucking lasers. She still jobs. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's the Bismarck story was just her final hurrah of like, well, I'm alone in enemy territory, and they're all trying to get me. They're all after me, and it's just how many of them can I beat up? Now, at least I feel like Azure Lane, with the exception of a couple of ships in the story, which are interestingly mostly American ships. That is a whole CG when Yorktown goes down and passes the burb to Enterprise, Spirit burb. But I feel like with event stories, Azure Lane is usually pretty nice. Like Bismarck fucks up a couple of the Royal Fleet ships, and they're like, "Oh no, my rigging's damaged. I must go home." And even in the event, Bismarck quote unquote sinks, but
you get that sign of U-556.
Yeah.
Winning up to her. Yeah,
556 is there to help her, which is the whole part of 556's story arc. The whole Parsifal thing, which is adorable. But yeah, it's so they soften some of the blows so that you don't feel bad that your future past ship girls are going to sink or whatever. But it is definitely, you're right. They do lose a lot. Like, I feel like Sardinia didn't do that good.
Yeah, no.
They tried to bamboozle the Royal Fleet, and the Royals were just like, we knew you were going to do that.
Like the Royal Fleet, like I said, I wasn't paying super attention to the story because I don't do that now. But apparently, like, fucking Royal Navy, like, betrayed the Vicia Dominion and Irish Orthodoxy, but now they don't want them associating with the Ireland. It's like, no, it's cool that you totally betrayed us and doing this for your own gains, whatever. So I'm just like,
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting. I'm not super, like I said, like you, I'm not super paying attention because I was a little late in starting the event. So I'm like, I can't stop for story, guys. I can go back and read later. I gotta farm points, but there's a lot of really interesting things, and both Iris and Vicia have this weird spiritual aspect, right? Which makes sense because they're French. And literally, I think they're Irish ships, but there's one of them. Richelieu is Iris, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Richelieu and Jeanne d'Arc are major. Like Richelieu is out named after Cardinal Richelieu. Those are major historical figures who are associated with faith and stuff. So they're kind of like the Sakura in that regard, where the Sakura ships have they have that weird spirit tree thing that I still don't understand what the fuck was happening there. Like, Azure Lane is very confusing sometimes. Like, yeah, there's alien multi-dimensional technology, but also there's Jesus stuff? I don't know.
Jesus!
But yeah, so there's a lot of interesting things going on with their themes. Like a lot of the maps in this are named, like, the indestructible God, or God is with me kind of stuff. I'm just like, this is really interesting thematically. It's funny you bring that up about how I wish they wouldn't. I feel like that's what Northern Parliament is now after their story, right? Because that was a thing, right, where the Soviets were on the side of the Axis and then were betrayed by the Germans because of reasons, Hitlery reasons. But and then they joined the Allied side only for us to immediately put the communists out to pasture in the 50s. Thanks, Cold War. Luckily, Azure Lane doesn't deal with any of that, but I feel like that's what the Northern Parliament is there for, is so that you can get they are literally the white iron blood aesthetic. Like, that is 100% we are white metal and ice, whereas Iron Blood is like black steel and fire. Ne?
Yeah. But just, oh man. Like I said, Lucky might be weird, but I said, he really likes, because apparently, like, here's the thing. Azure Lane is based on the fact that there wasn't actually, World War II. Instead, like, the Sirens took over. And they literally split their differences on whether or not they should use siren technology or not, if the anime is anything to go by.
Yes, that is the interesting way they get out of the Nazi problem of, like, these ships aren't Nazis. They're just like the Red Axis, is it?
Crimson Axis.
Crimson Axis. The Crimson Axis faction rule is they're the guys who are like, we'll use siren technology to beat sirens, and we don't care. Whereas Azure Lane, aka the Allied powers, are, no, we'll do this on our own. We figured out the technology. We'll do this through the power of friendship and having a shitload more ships than you in game, I guess.
Honestly, that's it. Literally, like, that's it. I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know how they fucking win. I really don't.
Well, I mean, I think that's the theme, right? Is that the reason why ships that are like Vicia, like Iron Blood, like even Northern Parliament, who are technically an Azure Lane member, right? But I feel like in the story they did play up the kind of these guys are allies or not thing, right? Because they're allied with Azure Lane ships, but they are also doing the Crimson Axis thing, where they are very clearly using siren tech to revitalize all their old ships and stuff. Which in the greater meta plot, as it exists, kind of is cool. But the thing is that there just aren't as many. Like, Iron Blood can't churn out as many of their ship girls because they're, like, super high tech. And one Bismarck is worth, like, however many fucking, however many ships show up on the, like, Royal Fleet side, right? Like, there are a lot of little ships that they can throw at, which just show up, and she takes on most of them until they finally get her. That's the only way they win. Oh shit, I'm out of ammo. I should go ahead and take care of that boss. That won't be a problem. I'm running, like, all max level ships. But still.
Oh, yeah, speaking of which, I finally got like 6 level 120 ships now.
Nice.
My Iron Blood fleet is max power.
It's pretty good. I think I've got a lot of these ships at 100. I should probably go do that. I never remember to do that, but I should. I'm pretty sure that, like, my back row, Graf's already got some core levels, but I'm pretty sure that Tirpitz and Bismarck are also sufficient. So I just realized, man, Algeria has some cool aesthetics. She shoots black bullets with red rims as a boss. That's cool.
Well, story spoiler, she's doing the fucking black cube thing that fucking Bismarck did. I'm on
the last map, so it's not like it's not like a spoiler to me, but, like, it's aesthetically they do some really interesting things. Was Bismarck as a boss shot huge beams, but I don't remember, were they black and red? They were definitely red.
They're probably.
Azure Lane knows what's up with, like, color comp and stuff.
This energy is evil! But like, as I said, but it's just like I said, it's not something that's necessarily against the game, but like, in the concept of like me wishing villains would win a bit more, I would definitely have to say the Ironblood and Vegedominion, because again, they're not necessarily against the world; they're just on a different ideal, and yet, despite having this different ideal, they just are made to just job.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly why the anime and the main story goes the back and forth with the Sakura fleet, because, like I said, that is actually a thing. Is that there was a lot more back and forth. That was the plot of one of the game's early events when what's her face, Prince of Wales and like Vampire and stuff were introduced. Was the fact that was actually referencing a series of battles where the Japanese totally ambushed some older British ships that were supporting Australia, and they got, kind of thing. Like, there's a lot more back and forth in the Pacific theater, I think, than in a lot of the European ones. Which is, unfortunately, means that when they do stuff like they introduce Sardinia, or they do an event about Vichia or Iron Blood, that, like, no, that's the way we go in history, and it's usually, and I've noticed an Azureland event is usually, like, the first half is vaguely resembling a historical event. The second half is, oh shit, sirens, fuck. Like, sirens come in and, now it's interesting that the Iris event is not doing that. Like, while there is, like, siren tech and stuff involved, it's still ultimately, the second half maps are ultimately still just, Iris versus Vichia.
Well, a little bit of Royal Navy.
Yeah, there was some Royal Navy support in there too, but, like, the main crux characters seem to be, like, it's like Jean and Richelieu are talking about stuff. And then, Algerie on the other side is trying to fight him. Her and Axeface, whatever she's called. I don't remember their names because they're French. There are also limited number. For some ungodly reason, the Germans decided to name all their ships just U or Z, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, there's only a few ships which may have already been in construction before the regime change are like, yes, this is the Tirpitz, named after Admiral Tirpitz. This is the Bismarck, named after Admiral Bismarck. This is the Graf Zeppelin, named after Count von Zeppelin, who invented those sick airships that we love. Yeah. Which also, by the way, the Nazis were not interested in militarizing airships. They used them just for, like, propaganda filming and then let it go. Now, part of that, though, may have been because the U.S. cornered the market on helium and were like, no, we don't want you getting helium balloons. Actually, by the way, no joke, you might think it was those wacky Nazis, but actually America built the first flying aircraft carrier. That was the Macon and the Akron, I believe, were the two U.S. Navy airships, which were carriers. They could launch small planes and actually retrieve them, which is bananas to me about how that actually worked. Both, by the way, crashed. In horrible airline disasters. And actually, I believe the reason why the U.S. Navy didn't go with more airships is that the rear admiral who liked rigid airships so much, was on the Akron crash. He was like, they're safe, it's fine. And then it crashed into the ocean in a storm and he died. And then the U.S. Navy was like, nope, guess we're not doing that anymore. Let's build regular aircraft carriers on the ocean. And that really worked for us.
Force projection.
Oh, yeah, I mean, to kind of wiggle back to Star Wars a little bit, that's the thing about Star Wars, is that every cap ship of a certain size is a carrier and can do force projection, and that's why you have a lot of, like, I'm actually very interested to see if they do a lot of different stuff for the factions, because the Rebel/New Alliance at New Republic, which, by the way, that is an interesting thing. We are canonically after Endor. These will be New Republic pilots. They've actually said that, and they show building some of the Starhawks, which are that's another really impressive thing. The Starhawk battleships were built using scrapped Star Destroyer parts before the battle at Jakku, which was in the Aftermath trilogy, and why Jakku's covered in ruins and stuff, and that's supposed to be the really big end of the Empire. But they were never depicted on screen. Technically, I believe this will be the first quote-unquote on-screen depiction of them, but Fantasy Flight Games, who makes the X-Wing miniatures games, also makes a naval game called Armada, and they've actually released a Starhawk model, which is the first time it's actually been depicted as anything. They said that, by the way, that they used internal models for it. I'm guessing they're using the models that, the same models that Squadrons was working on, because I've actually no, Robin. I've heard they're gonna have crossplay. PlayStation is still weird about that, but I hope they've evened it out. So I think that people can just play together. We'll see. I don't think they've detailed it, but I hope so. Because like I said earlier, Omega is totally gonna do some squad flies. But I was talking about force projection is what like Rebel fighters are really good at because they all have hyperdrives. You can park a carrier in the middle of fuck off space and then launch or go from a secret base and launch ships through hyperspace. Whereas Imperials were like, no, we're never going to deploy fighters except as a screen for our big dick battleships. Star Wars Squadrons, Vesper. And actually, that's kind of that actually can kind of relate to because the Empire aesthetically, especially the Imperial Navy, is really like 1/3 because they all have accents. 1/3 Royal Navy, British Navy. 1/3 Imperial Japanese, and then 1/3 Nazis, obviously, because George Lucas was heavily aesthetically inspired by old pulp films, which would have come out during the 20s and 30s and 40s, and World War II war movies. Like, the trench run scene is just Dam Busters, I think, but in space.
Space!
So, it's really interesting to see that kind of force projection stuff come together, and I'm very interested to see what they do mechanically, but now I'm talking about Star Wars again. Though, hey, speaking of it, I've always joked about how I would love an actual, Star Wars gacha game kind of stuff. Well, I don't know, Loth. Like I said earlier, I feel like they're heavily inspired by it. If you're doing the big multi-part battles, the final part is you attack the components on their capital ship, which they literally pointed at a Star Destroyer and were like, shield generator is up here, life support down here, power reactor down here. No, that feels good. I said this earlier, but I will say it again for the audience because we got some people in who weren't listening before. I don't believe that you will do the, let's not talk about that. I don't believe that you'll do the classic Battlefront 2 strat where you park in their hangar and dump 50 guys to go throw grenades at their life support.
Maybe you'll do a mission where you have to deliver troops to a ship or something.
I could definitely see that as that could be like a campaign mission, right? Fly the support boat like a U-Wing or a Reaper, because those both are troop carriers also, into a target and, maybe actually land? I don't know. I don't know how deep the mechanics will be, but definitely fly it to the point where you could park it somewhere. That could be fun.
Yep.
Yeah, the life support and comms relays on the outside are real fuckers. I think the comms was just an antenna sticking out of some rando part of the ship. Anyway, Azure Lane.
But
the aesthetics kind of overlap stuff.
Yeah. So Lucky has got everyone from the build pool. As I said, I got a fuck ton of Richelieus real easy, and I just was able to pull an Algerie and a Venklin, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, I'm
recently.
not doing gotcha stuff. I was doing wishing well, but I
just
to switch back.
I just bought John. I just bought John the Arc. I'm just like, I ain't.
I'm about to. I'm in 7K points.
I'm like, I don't need this anymore in my life. I'm debating if I want Burn or not because, as I said, Lucky's not super big on, non-evil ships, I guess.
Yes, you have aesthetically dedicated yourself to Cruise and Access. To the point, I think, where you were one of the... I've heard a couple people say this, where you would make a different guild on Crimson Access side if it actually meant anything.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't.
No, it doesn't, so I'm just like, whatever. But, I just headbutted my mic. But as I said, if I get, I brought Jeanne d'Arc because I'm I just like her design. Honestly, even though I'm not super big onto Azure Lane, still some of the designs, fucking Richelieu's, I'm like, this is powerful shit right here. And same with Jeanne d'Arc. But Burn, I'm just like, meh. But Azure Lane, I'm still going. Lucky's really, really, really debating dropping another $30 on this game just so I can buy all the fucking Vicia costumes because they're pretty good.
Skins are good. Azure Lane's horny energy is really good though. They design really good skins. They've already said they're doing a racing collab, so there's a Takao skin, which is the skin is 90% car, but the remaining 10% is Takao legs. I'm like, there's a big fucking car taking up most of the space in this, but it's got the other good stuff. It's got the stuff that kids crave.
Oh, it was Atago. Atago is Big Sister energy. That's right.
No, isn't it? It might be both, but I think the other one was Takao. It was Ponytail one.
Oh, maybe. But I can't remember. Oh, I think someone just called for me. Hang on 1 second.
That's okay. Well, Lucky's doing that. I will reiterate some stuff I'm doing. I'm working on the event myself. I'm about to get enough points for Jean. I'm about to finish up the maps. I wasn't doing the build because I've only got the elite left, but then my wishing well for St. Louis, because I actually got St. Louis's skin, new party skin, the horny one, out of a lucky bag. And I don't have a St. Louis, so I was trying to build for that in my wishing well, but I let that expire because I'm a dumbass. So I for daily point stuff, I will probably have to go back to doing event builds and hope that I get the elite, and then I'm not inundated with like 50 Richelieus, because I got in like 2 10 pulls, I got like 2 of them. So yeah, but I got everything I got all the gold chips out of the gacha, and I don't want to mute that channel for 24 hours. It's muted for 8 hours. But yeah, I'm working on the event too. I'm working on the completion. It's fun. Does stuff. They do some interesting mechanics. I'll wait till Lucky gets back to talk about some other stuff coming down the pipeline, because there's some interesting stuff they've said will be coming.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, okay. Well, that's perfect, because I just said that I would be waiting for you. So Lucky, did you see this? Apparently they've said in a patch soon, one of the quality of life they're going to do, and I think they haven't done it yet. If they have, I need to go do some stuff. But you'll be able to do stuff like enhance and limit break and training on ships that are in action. That'd be nice. You will, which I'm like, that's a great quality of life, because that is a really annoying thing where it's like, oh, you sent a ship out on a commission, well, you can't max limit break, and I'm like, but I want a limit breaker right now, and they're like, no, you can't.
Yeah, so no, that is something very lovely. Also, didn't I also see something that PR Ships 3 will be getting at the same time?
Yes, I think they did a stream lately, and they talked about PR3. They have said that unlike the other stuff, is that they are actually planning to do a simultaneous release for PR3 between all 3 servers, basically.
Yeah,
because we would expect that there would be rough parity between CN and JP, because that's usually how events go. Is like an event will come out in China, and then like 2 weeks later it'll come out in Japan. And then sometimes it'll also come out 2 week leaders in English, but other times we do like a rerun or something different. They said on a stream we would be doing all 3 PR at once. Now that super concerns me, because I still can't do any fucking. I've been farming this event with my ships that give Monarch EXP. I feel like that bar doesn't move. Like, I feel like I want to. Is it easier to do the PR ships with tech levels? Like, because they don't do the same mechanics as the PR ones, where I need like 20 million XP or whatever. It's 2 million.
No. No. But
and because I don't want to abandon Monarch, but it's like I can't invest enough time for this fucking bar to move anywhere. I don't know how I got the first million, but it's just like I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I just like can't find the time for it to actually move, and it really frustrates me because I can't.
Monarch's PR1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, PR1 is definitely more hyper specific in their choices, which makes it a lot harder. Like I said,
I'm running 3 of the ship that gives her the EXP, but it's still like, God, I've been working on that one for literally since they came out. I have been working on Monarch, and I feel bad about it because I want to get like Frederick the Great, or I want to get some of the other PR2s, but I'm just like I'm stuck down here. Like yeah, no. I don't know how people did it so fast. I don't know where the EXP was. Was it just like were people like farming hard mode maps that I'm just like I'd never do that? I don't know. Like, I'll admit that I'm filthy casual, but at the same time, I'm just like, man, this is not going anywhere fast.
Yeah, Lucky, again, I'm sorry, but Lucky cannot completely relate. I said, I have my rune is level 120. I have a Frederick the Great, and Gascon has, like, I've already got the first million she needs, and...
Yeah, I'm not... Azurlane is a weird thing, because we've talked about with you where you don't like necessarily mindless grinding, but I think you just had a better setup for it somewhere. Like, you had it on a tablet and you have a phone or something, so you could multi-gacha drift before I got an emulator that worked, where it's just really easy for you. You had it down where you could farm EXPs and stuff for Azurlane way sooner than I did. I still haven't found my rhythms, but I'm literally playing Azurlane while we're filming on my emulator, and it's not causing any problems.
Let's see, what is my Gascon at? Oh yeah, I'm at 26% on her combat data collection too.
I gotta say, Toronto, I'm not even sure which one that is. Like, which one's X4? Like, is that like a hard mode? Is that a what? Like, what are we talking about? Any fourth map? Okay, that's the thing. Also about Azurlane, I never paid any attention to the terminology. I'm honestly less casual about Arknights, even though that was the game I was in to just play casually. Like, I understand that game a lot better.
My question is, actually, now I'm thinking about it, where do I need to get blueprints easier shit? Ooh, like, I'm about to finish my best. Like, I'm about to finish my 3rd PR ship, and fucking Rune's stuck at development level 29. So I'm just like, well, actually, she's at development level 29, 300, 400. I just need 7 more blueprints, which I'm gonna try and get from the shop. Mm-hmm. But goddamn, it's like, that's the thing. Like, I don't like farming that much. I really don't. I'm like, please stop. Let me see here. Let me scoot on over a bit.
Yeah. So, while Lucky's thinking about stuff, I'll just say I have farmed EXP in just like 4th maps or whatever. 8-4 is as far as I am in the story. I think. Well, I'm like halfway through chapter 9. I'm lazy. But I don't do it often because usually whenever I get in a mood to just throw Azure Lane up and farm is then Azure Lane's like, hey dog, here's a new event you got to farm for ships. I'm like, AL's pretty good about that, keeping that event loop going. But I think we've gotten a question in chat to talk about Arknights more, so you were side-sliding. Do you have anything else you want to say about Azure Lane, Lucky?
Not really, no. It's like I said, I'm gonna just keep just gonna keep to the grind, I guess.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking. But yeah, I guess it's a good time to go switch into Arknights and contingency contract, which people have not shut up about and will not shut up about.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. Do you, Axe, though? Do you really? What are you getting out of it? Well, I guess Axe is one of those people who's always thinking about future-proofing his mats or whatever. Mm-hmm. I've got Siege's skin, and I haven't actually done a contingency. After that, I didn't do, like, a contingency contract map for, like, 2 days, and I feel myself not caring. Like, okay, well, in that case, you definitely have barely done it, if I've gotten farther than you. Okay, that is definitely, like, no, I understand. You haven't done the event at all, then.
Lucky's done a bit. Like, I got Siege's skin, I've actually been able to buy some material to the shop, but, like, I'm at, like, contingency contract, like, level 4, maybe 5, and, like, on certain things. And then I see some other people are like, oh, yeah, I was able to do 18.
Yes. This is, unfortunately, as we've talked about, there is a certain slice, like you said, Arknights has a weird fandom so far, as we've seen, both internally and externally. There's a lot of, like, ooh, here's to do free-to-play, low-star units, whatever. Do all this stuff. Right? Like, there's some of that. And then there's people who are like, yeah, try hard, I love hardness. And actually, some of that can overlap, too. Because there can be people who be like, I'm not going to cruise control this map. But Contingency Contract really appeals to the tryhard crowd. Because it's literally a challenge event where you can select different tiers to do different stuff. And some of them, like, when I first got into it, I was a little worried because I'm like, man, I kind of cruise control this game. But then I was just like, okay, no, you can still get stuff every day from doing a little bit. You don't have to try hard. And I haven't. So, like, sometimes I look at maps and I look at some of the responses. There was a map where it was like, increase enemy speed by like 100%. And I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. I just can't do that. I tried it. And I'm like, oh, I just don't have anything for this. I won't. But some people, like you said, Lucky, are really obsessed with like doing all the contingency levels. And I'm just like, no, I can't live that life.
Yeah, no. And I'm not going to, again, I'm not going to put this blame at the feet of those people. But when I see something like that, it just really, really kills my motivation. Like I said, I've been playing Arknights almost day one, and I put in like a fair amount of effort. I have really good operators. I have several E2, and it's just like, no, I can't do this. And then I just see people of like doing these master crafting strats on this, and just like, that can't be me, and that kind of hurts me in a little bit. So I'm just not.
Yeah, I can definitely feel like after I got Siege's skin, I definitely felt like a decrease in motivation to give a fuck about the event because it'll help you for later. It gives you, like, really expensive rare mats and whatever, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine, whatever. And I know that in, like, 6 months, Omega will be like, oh, I don't have any fucking nanoflakes for the newest operator, Google Snatch. Mm-hmm. I love my Google Snatch, but I can't E2 her or whatever. And then people will be like, Omega, you should have gone hard on contingency contract. And then I'll punch those people, and I'll move on with my life. Seriously, please don't ever be like, oh, you should have gone harder 6 months ago. I'm like, don't you fucking hindsight me, asshole. Omega didn't care about it 6 months ago. He cares about it now. But at the same time, it's just like, there's nothing other than the skin, which is great because it was perfectly timed because there was a Siege banner so I could actually buy me my Siege and move on. Because Siege is great. In more ways than one. But after that, there's like, there doesn't really seem to be any like missable content. It's just all farming and stuff. I'm just like, okay, that's cool, but I don't see it as like I'm not going try hard on it, but that actually made me chuckle, Axe. I'll let you know. That was a good one. That one worked.
Mm-hmm. No, I was going to say the same thing. That I understood. I understood that joke.
That worked as a joke. For Axe, some of the audience will really know Axe. Like sometimes Axe tries to make jokes and they don't land, and I'll say this, especially verbally, Axe really doesn't have a lot of variance in his tone when he's joking, so sometimes it's just like, are you joking? That would work perfectly. I actually did some Annihilation earlier, also on mic, but I've stopped now because I'm full up for the week. But, yeah, I don't feel the desire to, like, go whole hog on it because it's just mats and stuff, and I understand that will make my life better in the future, but it's the same thing for, like, FGO events. Like, oh, you could have 50 million Void Dusts and EXPs if you... Well, actually, not even EXPs. If you did this lotto forever. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not actually gonna clear 100 lotto boxes. I'm not gonna... I don't have that in me. I'm gonna get bored and like, have to go, like, run around outside, right? So I feel like it's the same thing for contingency contract and Arknights, right? Where it's just like, okay, if I needed some of these, I'd love to do it, and I'll maybe do some more eventually, just because I do like Arknights, and sometimes when it's low, doing the little challenge things is interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like, some of them are actually really neat.
Yeah, usually, like, I try not to pop ones that, like, give, like, things like extra stats, because I'm like, don't do that to me. But, like I said, I'm like around 4 or 5, I'm like, no, this is interesting. I like fiddling bits.
Well, and also, you can still get... I appreciate that they did this way. You can do some of them... You can get some of the challenges every day done just by doing them with the quote-unquote practice option, with the support contract, which gives you huge buffs, right? You can basically practice the map with a huge bonus, and still get some of your little point tchotchkes. So, like, that's actually... Like, I feel like people definitely hyped up contingency contract as really hard, and it wasn't. Like, actually doing it is not hard. So I feel like that's some of our disappointment, maybe, is that people were like, oh man, contingency contract's coming, you gotta level up stuff. You don't have to level up stuff. I have 1 E2, and I'm still doing okay. Like, I got the skin, I could do more, I'm just literally not playing it, because unfortunately, there is no auto-deploy, so you have to big brain it the entire time. And I just don't have time right now, but it's okay. I just, like you said, I feel like some people's hardcore, try-hard enthusiasm for it has kind of sucked some of the love out of it for me. You know? I need a water. I don't have a water handy. I'm talking a lot. I'm thirsty. It's because of Star Wars. Star Wars made me thirsty.
He has the thirst for ships.
I do, though. Lucky, vamp!
I will vamp. So, I said recently with Arknights, I said I've been working. Lucky got a Saria not too long ago. And I am so sorry, Liscarm. I adore you, but God fucking damn sorry. You are goddamn amazing. Holy shit. I've already got her to, like, E2 level 40. Because I'm just like, no, you good. You good. I was like, I'm gonna push you at Hoshi. You two will be unstoppable. Just big horns energy. Big horn energy. Not horny energy, just big horn. I'm like, yes. And let's see here. I haven't really put any effort into that. I did roll for the on the new banners both.
I spent a 10 pull on the big one that's like Chen and Silresh and all that.
Was I mistaken? Because I actually didn't pay attention. Did it say you would get guarantee a 6-star, or was it still a 5-star?
Oh no, it was a 5-star because I blew through that. And I just got Manticore, and I say just got because that's the minimum rarity. But I wanted a fucking Manticore, so I'm okay.
Okay. Well, I got another Silver Ash. So I'm up to.
Is Silver Ash your Exia for me? Who I have, by the way, P3.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of fucking apple pie, and I'm like, I can't be mad, but I want to be mad.
Who did I get on I also rolled on the other one. Who did I get? Fuck. I don't remember. I think it was someone I already had, because I don't actually remember that well. But, yeah, like, and here's the thing I've started doing. I don't ever roll full 10 rolls on the banners anymore. I just do singles until I get the guaranteed, and just like, I'm done. Unless it's like a raid up on someone I want.
Yeah.
Like when I killed myself trying to get Mostima and did not. And then I laid on the ground. It was like...
I did, but also in the same 10 pull, I also got that was my third Exia, so I'm like, this is a thing. This is a thing now. This is a thing that's happening to me. I did one, yeah, that's the beauty. All the units are permanent, at least.
Yeah.
Except Neon. But yeah, I was just gonna say that, I actually stopped, and W later. I actually stopped rolling. Like, I want, like, Shannon on some of those others, but I've heard that, there's a raid up for Reed coming around the corner. The Dragon Girl, and I'm like, no, I need to make sure I got my magical red rocks ready for that one.
That reminds me, we need to put red rocks and Originum Prime in the Discord for reasons. Do that at some point.
Oh, do we still have Prime? Yeah, we still have Prime coin Prime.
Oh, we have Prime. We have
Prime already. We used to have I think I uploaded LMD, but I took it back because almost nobody used it. We could maybe add red rocks though.
Red rocks. Oh.
Arknights is fun, but also I feel like I have this kind of like weird, not love-hate relationship, but just like just this kind of like there's a whole like weird like I just have a weird relationship with Arknights, I guess. I like it a lot. I love the aesthetics. I like the story and stuff. Like I don't think we talked too much about the story of Code of Brawl, but it was very entertaining.
It was very entertaining
and interesting. Fucking the Emperor, man, that fucking penguin.
He's such the best. Like, I have, like, my favorite, like, someone posted a comic from it, and it is literally, like, my favorite Azure Knights. There's a fucking game for you. It's my favorite Arknights,
Well,
joke.
aren't they published by the same company? We could do that collab.
Well, yeah, I think they are, actually.
It's Yostar, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Yostar, yeah.
Do it.
Where is it? I want it.
It would work. It would totally work.
You can post it.
I know they're not the ones making it, but you could totally do that double up. Give me Sniper Bismarck. Actually, no, it would probably be Arc Royal as a sniper because she has her space gun. I guess Enterprise has a bow. Snipe it. Yeah, that's a good one. That's very accurate. Poor
Bison.
Poor Bison. Yes, I'm just trying to do a job, maybe, and he gets in with these crazy women and this crazy penguin. And occasionally he runs into Mustima being mysterious.
Actually, fun fact, I actually ran into the Code of Brawl CM. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Arknights does some anime. It's almost like FGO, does some anime ass CMs.
And it was like super on point. I got it like I don't remember doing what, but fuck, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I remember they're pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Tyranno King found it.
Got all that stuff with like shit getting shot.
The fucking penguin getting shot the fuck up. I'm just like, Bison's just in the fucking pack. What?
Yeah, he's just like he dies and comes back and nobody cares. He's great. It does. Axe mentioned it. It does at the end kind of like hint about some of the Laterno stuff, right? Like Mustima literally has a parole officer basically who's watching her because she did some bad shit. They mention how both Exia's halo is brighter than most Laterno's, which is hilarious. Keeps her up at night. And how Mostima's is actually darker because she's kind of a fallen angel. And there's a real question of like, is she like? I always thought like I was always under the impression that she was a Sarkaz Sancta hybrid, but it could just be that maybe they're related species. Like,
who knows?
Like the Sarkaz are fallen Sancta? Who knows?
There's mystery.
Which I'm sure they'll get to later. There's a lot of setup in Arknights for future events going different places, right? Like, they're set up for stuff with, like, more stuff with, like, Rhine Labs and Columbia. They're set up for, like, what Laterno is doing. The game really so far seems to be focusing on, like, Lungman and Chernobyl. Ursus is Chernobyl was just one city. But, like, basically Russia and Hong Kong type stuff. But, they've got a lot of potential to do future stuff, and they've already done some of it, like with the Obsidian Festival event, which was very vaguely like Hawaii type stuff, or just like Fire Festival. That's a thing things can reference now because that happened in the past. Anyway, Arknights, cool. Contingency Contract doesn't really have any story. It just has a weird setup where they're just like, Doctor, do challenge quests to get stuff.
We need supplies,
and I'm like, well, you're not wrong. As I always run out of weird stuff in Arknights, right? Like the other day, I was leveling up skills, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm out of level 2 skill scripts or whatever." And then for like the next week, there was like 2 or 3 of them in the credit shop, so that was fine. So I think I have some now. But then there's other things where like, I'm fucking out of rocks. And they're just like, okay, I'll find some more rocks. And then next thing you know, I'm out of rock cubes. Where do my rock cubes go? It's just weird.
Lucky's looking at weird shit and stuff on Twitter, and I found this, and I love the design aesthetic of the combat screen. God, it's fucking amazing. Lucky's been looking at a lot of Japanese games. I'm just like, can I have this?
Yeah, depends.
Oh, man.
Yeah, let's see. What are we at? Over 2 hours.
Well, I don't have necessarily anything to... Well, I guess we can talk a little bit about Star Wars AP, I guess.
We could. We finished the boat thing. That went very well. I think I said that after we had a lot of you guys weren't didn't turn out to have been in as much risk as all, but there was some very tense starts, I think, that got that really good.
Oh, yeah.
So look forward to that episode when it comes out, Slow Ride. I gotta be honest, I don't know, because I gotta film stuff tomorrow and work on some other stuff for the game, too, so I don't know if I'll have time to set it up to release, so it might be a little shenanigansy, but I'll try. We have actually started the water arc, because I put the last episode that was publicly posted is Holy Diver 26, which starts the Attack the Submersible! Campaign. And you guys decided to take care of that Bandogora Citadel. So that was a really fun one. I actually should mention, I can post it for patrons, the non-labeled version. But no. What you've already seen is the unlabeled version.
Oh, okay.
So the labeled version actually tells you what all those bits and bobs are for my own personal reference. So.
Fucking ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, I just I gave myself some general notes about what was where. So it's got some. Since I knew that the only people would see it would probably be me and the player characters, and maybe the audience. Like maybe I'll use it as the bed image for these episodes. I don't know yet. But yeah, as you can see, it's got some stuff. So like, one direction is like fucking ocean. It says literally not to fucking scale. There's impassable tall mountains. Lucky also called out I made a typo. There's really sharp point rocks. But I was like, fuck it. It's fine. But yeah, I just needed I didn't want to do like a detailed square by square map, but I was like, I've just realized in order to do this justice, I need to actually like figure out where the fuck everything is. And this will be a big deal. This is a whole citadel thing, like a tiny castle. There'll be a lot of stuff in there. I expect this is going to take several sessions.
Probably.
Because there will also be a decent amount of fighting, but also not fighting and just general atmospheric stuff. Like, there's not a full-blown mass combat in it, but I've written some stuff that will be mass combat-esque, which is good. It's been a while since we had a mass combat.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing internally and externally at Bandagora Citadel, not the fucking scale. You gotta say it with a bit of sass, not the fucking scale.
Well, yeah, because I'm just like, it's not the fucking scale. I'm like, I'm gonna write down it's not the fucking scale.
Okay, so...
But there's a lot of interesting stuff. I think the only thing I have left to do is to actually write down some of the specific adversary stats, but that won't take too long. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Or maybe tonight after we record. I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be just the four of you. Like, you could try full Sneakman mission, but I assume you're going to try and do stuff like that. Yes, hopefully the Fate AP will actually end. I'm going to make sure it ends this Wednesday, because it really shouldn't. It should not have taken 6 sessions, but people do stuff. And you can listen to them. You can listen to stuff. Everybody was expecting it, but it turned into the 5th session turned into the clusterfuck I was expecting it to, immediately. And it was really interesting overall, because that's like if we don't have too much more to talk about Star Wars. I
mean, I could, but you can talk about the Papy. I could always bring it back.
Oh yeah, because you did some stuff. We'll come back to that maybe. But just in overall, talking about game design, like, because Axe was like, oh yeah, I was thinking we would do this just the 4 of us, and you could-ish, but you probably won't, right? Like, you'll probably take some guys with you, at least for support, if not full-blown, like I said, mass combat type shit. But that has a lot of moving parts and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think Star Wars goes smoothly because you guys usually find a plan and stick to it. Mm-hmm. And very, very rarely do we have conflicts both in and out of character about what we want to do. We've had a couple, like the... that was actually in Holy Diver, I think. Like the dud grenade incident, where there was kind of a, not full communication on why we were doing things, and so we were, a little about, the players got in each other's way, I'll say. I don't get in anybody's way, but, in the Fate AP, it was also very much that, right, where it was just, I think literally everybody except one character who is the Punchman character who doesn't do any planning, literally everybody was sending private messages to me, whether it was secret plans or just hey, I want to ask a question before it's my turn and I don't want to interrupt kind of stuff. But everybody was fucking private messaging me. Everybody had their own shenanigans. People's plans got fucked up by other plans that got fucked up by other plans. It was just like I said, it got really pear-shaped and got really Fate at the end. And I had my own plans for different stuff we could do, but it was honestly more entertaining and I think more rewarding to the players, for most of them anyway, to just do the stuff. There was a little bit of frustration, but I think everybody ultimately had a good time. and we all got to do some cool stuff. I got to do my part of the plan, which, by the way, like I said, I wasn't subtle about. I think last time we talked about how, like, you talked about how you love the joke about Heaven's Feel Saber Altar is just 5 command cards that are all Excalibur Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
I literally used a GIF of the Excalibur Morgan scene from Heaven's Feel as a, like, no, I want to do this. And I was like, no, I'm gonna blow this guy up. Really fans are butts. I want to blow this guy up. And I still got a little shim-shammed, but I tried my hardest. Honestly, if I could say, the reason why things necessarily didn't go fast was that everybody was trying their best. Like, everybody was really trying to make their thing work, even when we were clearly past the point where it works, and we should stop trying. No, like I said, Robin, I wasn't subtle. I was like, no, I'm gonna, Saber's gonna come out and she's gonna blow a guy up. That's what's gonna happen. I was echoing the player characters. I think we're all done with Avenger. We've all had enough of this guy. Even the audience has had enough of him. Let's get rid of him. And it kind of worked. But to actually like wrap up the plot and do all the stuff, we needed one more session, just because it was like, okay, we've once again turned this into 3.5 hours, and Omega is hungry and tired. So what do we do now? Oh, actually, interesting. I've just realized there's no comments on the latest Fate AP. That's unusual. Usually we get a couple. Maybe people haven't listened to it yet because it's still relatively new. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we can circle back to Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. So when we figured out that we are going to Bandagor Citadel, I do what I always do, and I started looking over. I was like, all right, what can we use? What can we need? And let me look at my character, and let me plot some XP expenditures because want to think, and I started looking at stuff, and I came to a realization. It's like, wait a minute, why do I have this again? So for those of you who don't listen to the Star Wars AP, I will explain a little bit. At one point, Lucky's character, Arma, who is a big sister, motherly type Miraluka Jedi, picked up the specialization Performer. Now, this was partly because the Performer is kind of a social/physical type tree. Has a lot to do, like, gives you nice little social niche stuff and a little bit of physical stuff. Not necessarily combat stuff, but makes it a little bit
also,
better.
I would say it's a face specialization, but it has opportunities to do stuff that is not just social. Like, you can contribute in combat, and you can not die in a fight kind of stuff, or in a physical situation.
Yeah. Which is something I actually do like about the talent system. It's like, we can just throw a little bit of everything in here, and you can get it all, or you can, kind of skip over it, whatever. Anyway, so I was looking over at like stuff, a performance, like, all right, I should probably put some points into Performer. What am I looking for? And then I was looking at him like, wait a minute, I don't actually want any of this stuff. And I started looking over things. I'm like, yeah, no, like, what was I thinking? And then I remembered me picking a Performer was literally this weird ass fucking harebrained scheme I had an eternity ago, and just ran with it, and probably should not have ran with it.
And that is basically 50-50 lucky.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes when you do this kind of far planning, you're like, no, I'm going to do this, and this is going to be my thing, and it works out, and that sets, like, tones and themes. Like, I think your Mages of War character very much fits that, where, like,
yeah,
a couple of games in, you were like, okay, I'm getting my ass kicked a lot, I want to bulk up and be defensive, and I want to actually lead people. And then that basically set your character arc, and that's functionally been how you've been as a character since then. And It works.
Mm-hmm. With Arma, I think it took a little bit longer, because as I said, she's like, I don't know how well I portray it, but Arma tries to be a very caring person, and, that's one of the reasons why she got the bar. It's like, little Arma got the bar because she wanted a place in the base for people to relax and de-stress, because real early in the session, we found out people were stressing the fucking base. They had nothing to do, things were annoying, this is why they resorted to, gambling, thievery, selling goods and stuff. So Arma's like, alright, I'm gonna take this little hole in the wall and make it someplace that people can chillax, relax, have a nice place. And I think I picked up Performer at that point because for some odd reason I'm like, I want Arma to sing at her bar. Let's pick up something for her. Performer sings, awesome, yeah, cool.
That was definitely a thing, which was like similar to something Axe brought up because he plays on the game. Was like, you justify when you brought it up to everybody, it was like, oh no, I guess that makes sense. Like, nobody thought it was weird.
Yeah, no, well, Lucky, as I say, he's not like the smartest person, but he is clever, and he does have a bit of charisma to himself, which is why I usually am pretty good at playing face characters. Like, I'm tooting my horn a little bit, but Lucky's pretty good at talking to people when he wants to be. So I'm looking at this, I'm all like, okay, I haven't bought that much into Performer, but I don't really see a reason for me to go into this. And you, being the same fucking Grace, is like, you can just respec. I was like, I'm doing it. And I immediately dropped all the XP I had out of Performer and the skills that I got because of Performer. Luckily, it wasn't that much. I think it was just... Originally, it was Charm 3, Deception 2, and then, like, a few talents. But then our group was kind enough to remind me, no, dude, you just got Charm just because we have a bard. I'm like, oh, yeah! Praise be!
Yeah, it worked out.
It worked out, so I was able to rebuy a lot of stuff. And then I was thinking about picking up another spec. I was like, no, let's actually double down on this Punch Priest kind of thing I'm going for here. So I actually dumped most of the points back into Martial Steel Hand Adept. Because I was actually explaining this together there. Because Lucky doesn't have a problem with just talking or actually coming up with arguments or stuff. Like, I don't necessarily need social talents to be good at talking. Usually I just need some good skill dice.
Yeah, and honestly, social talents in Star Wars are usually... there's talents for every skill that are like, oh, you can increase the difficulty, you can reroll something.
Yeah.
You know, you can remove setback dice, etc. Every tree has that. Add boost dice. And honestly, you can get some of those anyway in your other ones. Like, if you get into... I'm pretty sure if you get into, like, Jedi General, it has a couple ranks of, like, the Command Talent.
Yeah.
Or something. And then there's really special niche stuff, but special niche stuff is not necessarily doing the face things. Like, unless you're gonna go hardcore and get, like, some of the diplomat specializations, and get, like, if you, like, exploit a character's social weakness, you can, like, do extra strain to them, or I think it's a Star Wars talent where, like, if you strain out a character in a social conflict, you can, like, instead of, like, taking them out, you can have them, like, owe you a favor or something, like, some weird, like, social combat stuff, right? Like, unless you go whole hog, most of it's just extra little things you do, like distracting behavior as a performer, that was cool. You don't really need that, though. You can get the same effects of making it harder for enemies to do stuff through other stuff completely.
Yeah. So, I was just looking, I was like, no. Because as I said, like, someone told me that Arma is going to end up like Tifa, and I was all like, it's fucking amazing, let's do that. And then Lucky started on his second harebrained scheme. But honestly, I think it fits definitely more in line with Arma than, whatever
happened. Well, at the very least, what you're talking about is, talking about, like, going into a Steel Hand Adept. That is a Force and Destiny spec. That's a Force-sensitive specialization intended for Jedi-esque characters. Mm-hmm. So, it will probably have more synergy than what you did before, which was you picked up, I think, Colonist Performer.
Yes.
Which is an Edge of the Empire, and it's it is supposed to be that. It's supposed to be a fringer tree for, like, people struggling in the Outer Rim kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so... Also, again, like, Lucky likes having different specs for doing different things, and he still wants, like, 3 more specs. So just getting rid of one that doesn't seem to be doing this, like, benefits me in the long run, because I still want to pick up Martial Artist, because I do want to become a terror with the fist. I do. And literally, if you just pick up Steel Hand Adept and Martial Artist, you can do some really, really crazy, scary stuff. Like, really crazy stuff. But after that, it's like, I'm probably gonna be done with, like, those are the only 2 combat trees I'm gonna need. So everything else will be just face stuff. Like, I'm planning on picking up Arbiter after that. And then Jedi General, but that's still me having 5 specs. I'm like, that's a lot of specs. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably the upper end, because normally that would be 50.
Yeah,
and actually will be 50. I think it'll be 50 for your last 2, because your 4th one will be out of spec and it'll be plus pen, and then your last one will presumably be General, which will be in career for just 50.
Yeah. So, but at that point, it's just like, I should be done with specs, but then it's all skills, and I'm like, honestly, I don't know how long the game's gonna go. I don't. It's always that thing, it's like, it's always nice to plan out what you do, but you never know how long the game's gonna last. I'm not an experienced video game, so I'm just like,
yeah.
It's kind of the reasons why I'm focusing on getting the combat stuff, because I'm like, I want to do cool punch stuff before this ends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know either, because I don't know exactly, like, when people will be, like, this game doesn't have, like, a long-reaching, overarching plan. It has some recurring themes and characters. I have some big ideas for, like, different vignettes and different elements, but I don't know exactly when will be the right time for those to crop up, right? Like,
yeah.
I only decided that, now is the time to introduce the Bandagora Citadel or whatever to, like, wrap this plot point after you guys did several missions focusing on it and, like, unraveled all the thread, and I was like, okay, I think we're done with this. I think we've done all the stuff we can do to build up to this. Now it's time for the climax of this arc. The finale, you know. And with separatist stuff, I'm like, no, we're not quite there yet. You've got 2 points in your triangle, but you'll need to do a couple more missions. Same with, like, ruins and stuff. Like, that plotline's probably not going to be resolved right away when you guys go to that Blackguard, which we'll probably do next, because then I got to think up more stuff. I got to, like, figure out my next block of missions I want to offer you. But, some of the stuff just isn't ready to be done. You know, it's just like, no, we're not quite at the moment where I want to put a capstone on this, you know? Ooh, excuse me. Oh boy, I gotta clear my dock out again.
But, yeah, so I'm happy that I was able to put some focus back into Arma. Again, I am eternally fucking salty. Eternally salty that the Star Wars AP does not get as much view as the Fate AP. I understand why. I understand the reasons why perfectly. I know it down. I know it in my soul. Still don't like it.
Well, part of it also could just be because like the Fate AP goes down every new episode, like they always do. Yeah. It could just be that Star Wars has gone on long enough, and we only have a core audience left. But yes, it does get more. We'd love for you to check it out, but maybe once again, maybe the What's Up crowd is not the people we. Well, I don't know. We get more views on What's Up than we do on the AP. Hey, check out the APs. I know they're long, but like you know how people talk about how they watch our podcast while you grind. It's just that. It's just that again. Just do that again. Only we make weird laser noises and stuff.
I just always feel it's like, am I not entertaining?
Oh, I mean, I know the feeling. We get that all kinds of different stuff. Like, that's how I feel, especially but in general, whenever either of us stream something, it's not FGO, and it gets, like, half the views, or worse, and I'm just like, are you guys not here for me? Like, do you not care about us? You can just fucking play FGO on your own, you know? You don't need me to be here. Or Lucky, whatever. But
yeah.
That's just, that's that quiet, fleeting self-doubt that I think a lot of creatives have, where it's just like, oh, do people not like me? Am I not do something right? It's just, no, it's really just that most of the people get in our channel for one thing, and then if they see something related to that, they're interested, but I don't, actually, hold on, I can look at analytics. Let's look at the latest Fate AP versus the latest Star Wars AP. Let me actually look at how those are spread out. Because obviously the views are smaller, but maybe engagement's different. You never know.
Never know.
Well, I will say, okay, so for Fate, there's a huge drop-off of people, right? Like, at 2 minutes in, only 32% of the audience is left. Okay, that's the same amount as on the same current Star Wars AP. That's definitely been... Previous Star Wars AP have had better audience retention, at least. I don't know, maybe it's just because they're both the newest, and it hasn't, like, leveled out. But yeah, I feel like the Fate thing has the issue of, like, the appeal we talked about, right? Like, people watch it more because it says Fate in the name, and then they're immediately like, oh, I don't want this, and they go away.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna call a yellow card on you. If you down yourself, and then someone agrees with you, you're not necessarily supposed to get mad at them. You down yourself, buddy.
if you're like, it immediately lowers the value, and Axe is like, oh, you might be right there. You can't just be like, choose your next words carefully, Axe. Like, you can't just, when you dob yourself in, you can't be ready to spin around and dob Axe in. That's not how that works. Like, yeah. that's I have a criminal justice degree, that's entrapment. Yeah. It's not allowed, that's a yellow card. Mm-hmm. Well, you gotta be careful about that. You gotta be careful about the long play. Mm-hmm. You can lose what you're doing in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually, I do have to design the NPC stuff, and I'll make sure they do some interesting things. You know me and my NPC design. They'll be fun. And there'll be like 5 million of them, so even if you miss some of them or you kill some of them in one turn, somebody will do something interesting. Actually, I think I learned a lot from how they were all pre-generated. They were all in the back of a book. But I learned a lot, I think, from how that boss fight, that episode's not public yet. That'll be the next one. But how that boss fight on the sub went, because that actually went really well, I think. Like, nobody was nobody on your side was, like, seriously fucked up. Like, nobody took, like, a shitload of damage and passed out immediately. But that was dynamic enough to be like, okay, so I can spend resources as the antagonist to, like, keep this going a little bit longer, keep things trucking, while also still doing interesting things and, like, letting you do interesting stuff. Like slight spoilers, but, like, at some point I, like, had an enemy do a thing so that the room started to flood, and so you guys had to worry about that, or, like, do different things in the background. I think it went really dynamic, and I hope it took a long time. Like that episode, that episode, I think the audio is like 3 hours long. Literally 2 hours of it is that one fight.
Yeah.
Which is why after you guys decide to do something after the fight, I have to be like, okay, we need to stop the episode. I need to plan for next session because that's it. But it was really dynamic, and it did the combat stuff I want. So hopefully this upcoming one, which I will be mostly designing the stats for, will have dynamical stuff that works also.
I think like something to definitely plan for is like specifically the flooding in the room. It's like I don't think you necessarily plan for that to happen. I think someone said something and you're like, oh no, that sounds like a great idea. I'm fucking doing it.
Yeah.
And like honestly, it's like honestly, I liked it. It's like it was definitely a moment of panic of oh shit.
Yeah, and honestly, like I've always I said this out loud several times in the Fate AP where I was like, because the universe, like everybody's heard the joke or the reference, no planet survives contact with the enemy, right?
Yes.
Hopefully everybody's heard that.
Yes.
I said this out loud several times in the Fate AP is just no plan survives contact with the players. Whether that's the players' plans or the GM's plans. Like once you introduce multiple people who are free-willed thinking beings into it, everything gets fucked up.
Yes.
So as the GM, I need to like keep an open idea and be open to suggestions. Like, oh yeah, he could totally throw something at a thing and like break a window or whatever and flood the room, right? That makes sense. Yeah. We know that works.
Yeah.
So it like that works to like add a moment of dynamism because everybody is kind of like you said, kind of like, ooh, well, this is a new thing we have to deal with. Is it going to be a problem? Kind of stuff. And that also keeps it fresh because honestly, if I was the kind of GM who literally pre-planned everything, I would assuredly get annoyed, and have gotten annoyed in the past when stuff is more pre-planned, when just like, somebody just like, Unga Bunga breaks the encounter and just be like, okay, well, there's all that cool stuff I can't do anymore.
Like Table Goes Burr.
Yeah, basically. Or before that, was like, I'm gonna use my shock glove and I'm gonna stun this guy for 2 turns, and I'm just like, okay, well, this is gonna stop being a combat encounter. Honestly, I wasn't super salty about that one. That was just like, okay, no, he's done. I guess we'll switch to something else. Like, cause you gotta keep it open-ended.
Honestly, again, like in that particular one, I like what you did with it. It came back and then it waited. It aimed for the ambush. I was like, nope.
Well, awesome. Yeah, the second time with the Scorpicana would just be like, oh, he's stunned. He can't take actions. He's just gonna fucking leave. He's gonna leave. Why would he stay? You stunned him.
Yeah. Then it came back. And then I had to run away. I was like, no.
Yeah, and then I had it come back at like the worst possible moment. Of course, I'm still waiting. There will be a time. I thought when the flooded start, I was thinking we would get the return of Shadow Snake, but he'll have to come back some other time.
Scar.
That is in the episode that came out. Lucky punched a snake and got a sea snake and gave it a scar, and also broke his gloves. So yeah, there's a lot of. I said that enemy would be coming back.
Maybe on the
sweet scar.
Maybe on the swimsuit episode. I don't fucking know.
I should figure out a beach episode. Well, Solo Live rains a lot. It's not great for beach episodes. Expect your dramatic showdown in the Vandagor Citadel to be constantly raining.
Will there be thunder?
Yes, of course. And no matter how long you wait to do it, it'll still be dramatically thundering. I did actually write in my notes that the area is just known for frequent and sudden storms, so it's just like, nah, you're not gonna get out of it.
Maybe I'll have some use advantage to actually do the environmental weird thing and just have some thunder hit something weird.
Yeah,
or lightning.
Probably do that. You at least will be fine because I feel I forgot about this, but it's been several sessions since you've actually used your species special power to ignore cover and concealment.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not advised. I can see fine. How is that? Is that how that's supposed to work? Yes, it is.
Yes.
And it will probably actually come up in this scenario because it'll be pitched raining with lightning, and you'll just be like, I can see fine.
I'm a little wet, but hey. Yeah, but I'm excited for tomorrow's game. As I said, I dumped a lot of XP into Arama's still hand add-ups. Let me see. I didn't get like anything too crazy. Like I was able to retain. Like I lost Congenial. Like that. I think that's the only thing that like actually hurt me.
You use Congenial a lot.
Yeah, but I was thinking about it. It's like, it was just a single upgrade. It was nice, but it's not gonna kill me in the long run, especially since I inflate everything with force points.
Yeah, I think you honestly, other than the fact that it was called Performer, I think you literally, well, and Biggest Fan is funny.
Yeah,
I think you literally got Performer because Congenial was so good.
Yeah.
Like you,
and
after you bought the spec, you literally started trying to shop around for other specializations so you could get more Congenial.
Yeah, and that's how I found Arbiter. But then looking at Arbor, I was like, actually, no, this fits way more my character in the first place. And who knows, maybe after, if I somehow do get, like, all the way to the end of Jedi Journal, I was like, alright, well, now it's for something else. Maybe I will shop for specific Tanouts, or, well, actually, I don't know if Congenial, I could make a case. I actually found the rules that if you get, like, a crit injury, sometimes you can get a talent out of it. I was like, wait, I probably can't get Congenial out of it.
Probably not.
No,
The Battle Scars system, though, is kind of fun. It's just a little finicky.
Yeah.
And some people don't like it because if you let your players abuse it, they can to be like, oh, I'm going to get an extra free talent that's not in any of my trees because I got booped on the head.
Well, that's one of the things, that's, like, I don't blame players for that, I blame GMs for that. GMs always have the power to say, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, some GMs don't think they do, but listen, GM, you're doing all the heavy lifting. You can totally be like, please don't do that. No, stop it.
And when I say please, I mean, don't do that.
Yes. When I say please, I'm being polite about it, but actually don't. Stop it.
That's why I was actually very, very pleasantly surprised that she's like, oh man, you can just respec. I was like, oh, thank God.
Oh yeah, no, because that's the thing. I don't want you to feel like your character should suffer because you made a bad decision literally 2 months ago. Or not even a bad decision, but a decision that's not working out for you 2 months later and be like, no, you can't change. Your EXP is gone forever. No. I'm not an asshole. And I won't say everybody who doesn't let you, like, respec or move around EXP is an asshole, but, like, it's definitely one of those things for, like, especially for a game like this, the way Star Wars is formatted, I would be like, no, dude, you can reverse engineer all your EXP purchases, like, if you, and especially you and Marth can, because you guys actually keep track of that shit.
I have a sheet that has literally listed every experience and when I bought them. So I was literally able to just go, alright, so I'm just going to delete this, and this, and that's all the experience I've done.
Yeah, and then you get it, so, like, but no, when it's easy to backtrack, and when it's like, I don't want to lock you into something, it's like, no, you can totally take all that XP back and move it around. You dramatically retrained. Mm-hmm. You meditated on a thing, just like Cal Kestis, and you spent your spec tree points. You respent them. What was the joke we made? You drunk the respec potion?
Yeah, made a bridge. And Arma was testing drinks, and one was just a bit too strong, and she forgot. Just forgot.
Yeah. She forgot how to be congenial, but she got better at punching things.
Mm-hmm. But I'm excited because, and spending all that XP, and I was able to get Accolade Scything Strength, which is punching Pierce. I'm like, oh yeah, it's all coming together now. And also Martial Grace, which once per round I can add ranks and coordinations as damage to a successful brawl check. So I'm like, punch good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of little talents like that that are just like, and you get a little bit extra damage, or you get a little bit extra success. Like, there's the game line's probably not complete. It's just they haven't announced any new products for a while because they're supposed to be switching publishers and COVID. Like, everything at Fantasy Flight's been locked down, like, for the last, several months. But as in general, the way the game is set up is that it's designed so that, no, you really can do, like, any little thing that fits your fancy, and they will find a way for you to get better at it. And I think it takes the right kind of point where it's like, no, if you invest all those experience points into getting good at unarmed combat or just brawl attacks, yes, you can punch people as hard as people can be shot with a gun. Like, you invested the time and money in a, pulp science fantasy setting to be that guy who is that scary, barehanded guy punching people so they explode, right? Whereas, that guy who spec'd out really good with his 2 guns is, like, the kind of guy who, like, calls it's high noon and shoots, like, 5 guys at once or whatever, Mm-hmm. Which has literally happened, by the way. We played a game, our long-running Star Wars game, where the smuggler guy was also spec'd into Gunslinger, and he did literally do one combat where he went, like, first or second, drew his pistols, because he had quick draw, and, like, obliterated 2 minion groups of 4 guys in one combat check. And just, nope, he was just like, I have knocked you all down.
Well, here's the thing, X. We had that problem with that character, too. I was like, okay, I guess we don't do anything now.
Yes, no, that was definitely like, okay, well, I guess combat's over. All those people are dead.
Great.
And, like, honestly, he was a little more advanced, because like you said, you could go for Gunslinger. You can't do all the dumb Gunslinger shit, because Gunslingers get free called shots and can literally, they can attack multiple groups with 2-weapon fighting and shit. It's crazy. For only one specialization, it's a little bananas, but also, they are somewhat limited in how they do that, right? Like, our sniper man was BX was also pretty bullshit because he had heavy weapons and was like a sniper twice over. And so he would just be like, I'm going to shoot you from a very far, long way away, and you're going to die. Okay, you're dead now. Like once you start getting up into, and I don't think even now we are really high. We're not really high EXP. Do you know what your EXP total is off the top of your head?
For Arma?
Yeah.
Arma personally, everyone's mountains may vary, but her total is 675.
Yeah, that is definitely overnight level, but not super advanced. Like, I think the 1,000 EXP is like the super cap.
Oh, including starting XP. Wait, no, I have included my starting XP too.
You sure about this? Okay, we're now going to an EXP discussion.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at my total here. Like, I got 90 starting, then I got 5 for morality.
Well, I don't know how much more he got starting with clones. It might be a significant jump.
I don't know. He gets literally more than 100 XP than me. Well, send me your XP totals. I'm curious. Hang on here.
Oh, now we're going to do math on Loth again.
Yeah, I'm going to do math on... Yeah, Loth, I think you did some mismath somewhere, because here's the thing. Even if you added 5 XP, like, let's see, we've done like 28 sessions here so far.
Well, does your EXP number include any you haven't spent, or are you out of it? You spent it all?
No, that's just total earned, like, not like spent. Like, I have 10 XP just sitting, but that's still part of the 675.
Yes, that's a very different number, and somebody should compare.
Yeah. Because, like I said, I use literal an Excel sheet to just calculate it. I just plug in numbers. And then on the next table, I just do, costs of things, and that just calculates how much I have left. So, I'm actually really concerned now. Because, let's see, you say you have 785? Like me, who, like, pretty on point with getting their motivation, with their, motivation, it's like, I usually hit, like, the, motivation. Not every time.
Well, and Axe just did the average, which is if we've done 28 sessions, there are 28 sessions recorded. If you got 20 XP every session, that would be around 560.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily average. Sometimes you got lower, but sometimes you got better. So that is a significant discrepancy in EXP. So we have to probably figure out where that went. Like, I'm not going to say it's wrong 100%, but that's definitely like, well, shit, we need to double check this now.
Yeah, like, this is one of the reasons why I keep track of everything, just so we can go back and it's like, what happened? Who? What? When?
Yeah, Omega doesn't remember all that. He knows that you guys will remember, some of you at least will remember that for him and can double check.
Like, let me see, can I copy this? I'm gonna post this in our Patreon chat, because, like, literally, this is what it looks like for mine. Session XP. We've had 28 sessions, my dude. Yeah, like, honestly, basic. I know some people don't, like, think about it, but you really should have, like, expenditure logs and whatnot, because sometimes you need to look back at something, but like, what the fuck did I do?
Well, yeah, and I've definitely had that issue with plenty of different games where it's been like, oh, fuck, I haven't double-checked my EXP. Or, or somebody forgets and you have to go back and check something. Because you can get small rounding errors. If you accidentally add, like, 100 EXP, or not even 100, 100's a big number. If you accidentally add, like, 10 or 20 EXP, but you do that, like, halfway through, you can really fuck some shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. We'll probably do actual math off mic, though.
Yeah, well,
we're about 245. I think we're pretty good for the episode.
I honestly, if Off doesn't actually have a log, it's kind of hard to actually do anything. He just has a total, so I'm just like,
I mean, it will take a while, but you can at least, technically, you can look at everything he's done, and, because it'll say whether or not he's got career skills or not, right? So you can just proc the cost of everything if he doesn't have a literal transcription.
Mm.
The issue will be mostly when did he get stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna be a slight delay if you actually listen back to the APs, because that'll be a long time. But no, I think we're good with that one. Now we can work on it off mic.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I probably wanted to mention was I talked about buying stuff. One of those things was plus size elf. But I actually, that was this week. Yeah, that was the 17th. Was that Wednesday? That episode, that video, I should say, really fought me. Yeah, it was published on the 17th. So, I did get I said this is one of the experiments I was going to do. I got a box full of Yu-Gi-Oh! Boosters. I opened them. I recorded me doing it. I talked about them. I did some math. We had fun. It has gotten some decent response, pretty decent engagement. Only a few comments, but those comments are generally positive. A decent number of views. Like I recently released my first Star Wars Legion video in forever, and it's about where smaller Legion videos are. It's only got like 20 views right now. We'll see if that percolates over time or not, but Legion's been weird, so I'm not too upset about it. I assume as I continue to release Legion videos, YouTube and the general public will be like, oh yeah, this is a thing you do. But that was interesting. It was kind of a pain in the butt to film. I need to like work on my camera setup. I was just filming it with my phone on my floor because that's where I had space to do stuff. But it was kind of fun. We got some stuff. Check it out if you want to see what. I may do more of those, but I've still got it on order, and I think they've charged my card, so I can hopefully it's actually shipping or in processing, whatever. I want to do the FGO wafer card one because, as we said before, anything that's got Fate or FGO on it will automatically do way better. I really want to see how that video does and kind of compare the two about doing future stuff. Like if I want to buy that dumb Force of Will Ghost in the Shell box and open that just to show it off or whatnot, right? So there's that. And that was interesting. The only other thing I want to mention, just because I know we have some children's card game fans out there, some unusual integrations across the stretch. Got some interesting questions from some people sometimes. But I also, another thing I just ordered on a whim, because it was only like $30, was I bought what's called the Legendary Decks 2 set, which includes kind of updated decks themed on the original Duel Monsters protagonists, Kaiba, Yugi, and Joey. And I bought that just for nostalgia reasons. Like, if I ever actually get to play like Yu-Gi-Oh! In my kitchen, it'll be fun. They're not like super competitive, but it has some newer stuff in there. And if you are like a classic fan of the old anime series, but you also actually play the card game, it's like $30 on Amazon. It's a pretty good deal because just for collector's purposes, I like it has like all the actual release versions of all 3 Egyptian god cards. So that's cool. I'd love to be able to tell kid me like, hey, someday you'll own those cards, because they hadn't even printed them for real. When I was actually playing the game as a small child, they weren't real legal prints. It has some for the Kaiba deck, it has like some newer cards, but it also has like the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and like foil print and stuff. So considering it was, like I said, it was like $30, which is basically like $10 per deck. For casual play and just for nostalgia, it was pretty good. So that's pretty fun. Like I said, I don't know when I'll actually play Yu-Gi-Oh cards in person with anybody, but it's just fun to own and put them in my binder. So that's fun. We seem to have touched a nerve with the like just in general card game stuff. Like mentioning card games got that onto the topic about Force of Will, or somebody mentioned Weiss Schwartz or whatever. Which like you weren't interested in that, but people mentioned to it. So it seems like we've hit a little bit of a weird crosswise where maybe we can, just do rando shit like the Force of Will box and stuff and see what happens. So we will continue to experiment with that in future. That is another thing where I'm like, thanks to patrons for, like, Patreon dollars are probably the primary source of where we get the funding to do dumb experiments like that.
Yeah!
And we will continue to experiment with stuff.
Hang on, I'm gonna yell at Lawton. See the call.
Yeah, to do math. Is there anything else? No, I don't think so. Though hopefully we can like fork some of this stuff. Like maybe I should plug like APs and stuff on Yu-Gi-Oh streams. I don't know. That's they're all tabletop games. Maybe we could get some stuff. I don't know. I'll continue to workshop. All right. Okay. I'm yawning. It's time to go. So wrap up the show.
Yeah.
Any other final thoughts, Lucky? I don't think so.
No.
Lucky is literally yelling at Loth in chat about how he's on tilt.
I am.
So let's wrap up the show so we can work on that. Okay. If you're watching this video on YouTube, be sure to give it a like if you liked it. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section down below. Your thoughts on any of the many different things we talked about, because we talked about a lot of stuff. Jesus. We technically mentioned Jesus before. You can also join the conversation on our Discord. That link is always in the description and on our channel page. We have different channels that do different stuff. If you're ever wondering what the fuck a channel is for, you can look at the top and read the little descriptions. Yes, if you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to get our latest videos, like when Omega mysteriously gets a package from a foreign country and decides to open it, or when we stream, or when we do other stuff, like release Let's Talk FGO, our most popular show, or those Clone Wars APs. We know you're all about those. Heyo! And also, even if you're already subscribed, consider the bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video, because occasionally we post videos at weird times. It also lets you know when we're streaming, and lots of other stuff, so be sure to check all that out and keep on trucking on the content. And of course, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can access to this episode in audio format early for as little as $1 a month. and you can get other rewards at higher levels and lots of other fun stuff. And like we said, it does support us. We're thinking our next patron goal will be working towards getting some sort of webcam situation figured out so we can do more video stuff with the face. That would be, I think, a decent upgrade to us, is to actually also get video integration so you can see our dumb faces as we do expressions, whatever. That will also probably lead to much workshopping, as we like to say. Playtesting and workshopping, our watchwords. And that is the show for this week, so be sure to tune in next week for another What's Up. Go ahead and check out Let's Talk FGO if you haven't already for this week. It's got the Lost Belt 2 pregame in it, it's fun. Also, a lot of mailbag with a lot of esoteric questions. Speaking of workshopping. And stay tuned to future streams and other videos during the week. Okay, ciao everybody. Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.